What's going on, Raza? It's G Funky Boxing of HCP, and I'm back with my co-host every week, the Dragon Style, D Style Boxing, and we're being joined by one half of the Canelo Cartel, Nopal Baxiano. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing
What up,
good.
family?
Doing good. Feeling good. Great day today.
Yeah,
A glorious day.
yeah, man. G Funk has had himself a day, man. Let me tell you, I had training, I had work meetings, I had school with my daughter. Been a long day, man, but I'm here, ready to get this thing going, man. You guys ready? You guys pumped or what?
I'm pumped. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm ready.
hell yeah!
I know No Paul's ready for sure, man. So I want to ask you guys a question here, man. Canelo says he's back. Well, we know he's back, but he says that he's ready to start working with anybody out there. That includes PBC, that includes Matchroom, that includes Top Rank, and whoever else is out there. Says he's willing to work with these guys, man. And since we got a member of the Canelo Cartel, I'm gonna let you go first, man. I want to know, how do you feel about that, man?
Um, I think he was always in that mode set, to work with whoever. And he previous to him even saying that, he kind of proved it. He was saying he was sending offers to other fighters from other promotional companies. So it's nothing new. We know the dude wants to work with. He wants the best fights, basically. We know that he's one of the few boxers that if you pressure him to do something, he's always trying to please the fans in some sort of way. You know, I would even think that if enough people asked for it, he would probably fight better.
Mm.
There's probably people that don't believe that, but nobody can deny the fact that Canelo is one of the few fighters left that you can pressure to take fights, even fights that are not in his best interest. He's one of the few fighters, maybe even the only fighter left that you could kind of pin him in the corner and he'll be like, okay, let's see if I could do it. He's proven that already, basically, you know.
Man, strong words there from the cartel, as to be expected, and let's give No Paul some love here, man. Look at this guy. Got Freddie Fender on the avatar, man. Who knows about that
True.
guy? Anybody in the chat know about this dude or what?
A little bit.
Yeah. So
A little
D-Style,
bit.
I want to ask you, bro. What do you think, man? Canelo says he's willing to work with everybody. He wants all the smoke, man. What do you think?
You know what that proves is that a lot of what I've been saying for a long time, that De La Hoya and Golden Boy were kind of in the way of making a lot of these fights happen. He confirmed that for us, which is why it's important to not just be a fanboy and side with people no matter what, because eventually the contradictions come, right? That's not shots to anybody in particular. You know what I mean? But right, in all seriousness, though, this is great news. You know what I mean? This is here. Here we have, aside from Manny Pacquiao, who's been fighting forever, right? Like this dude had belts and forward like decades or whatever, right? Aside from Manny Pacquiao, right? Canelo has the of all the active fighters, right? There's another one fighting soon, but he ain't active. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that later. But he has the best, and I'll challenge anybody, right? Um, Name me, other than Pacquiao, someone that has a better resume than Saul Canelo Alvarez. I mean, just point blank, period. Before you start to criticize the guy and pick apart his resume, okay, then the best way to pick apart a resume is to give me another resume that beats it, right? Because if that one's bad, then there's just got to be a bunch of them that are better, right? Like if I
Yeah.
tell you, hey man, that model car sucks. Look at all the problems the model car has, right? Then and you ask me, hey, do you know any better model brands? I should be able, obviously, right, to give you a shitload. Oh yeah, like, you get GM, there's Ford, right? Get an Infinity, something like that, right? I can give you a list of it. But in this case, nobody could give me a guy with a better resume than Saul Canelo Alvarez. And if you can, then I might get harder for you. Give me another guy that has a better resume than him, right? Because I understand some people might bring up Chocolatito. Okay, fine, right? But like in other words, it's a very, very short list, and your knowledge of boxing has to be more and more vast in order for you to come close to comparing it. That shows you that the guy's not doing that bad. He's fighting the ring champion at 168 pounds. He's fighting the WBA super champion, okay, which is the higher tier belt of the WBA, right? When we said, hey, we don't want to see the Yildirim fight, right? I don't know about the Canelo cartel now, but me, I was saying I don't want to see Yildirim fight. Right?
Same for me, yeah.
And this is a guy, by the way, that could have made $30 million if he boxed UFC fighters. He could have boxed, UFC fighters. He could have boxed celebrities. He could have boxed an old De La Hoya and gotten $30 million. But Canelo said, hey, man, I love the money. I want my guaranteed money that you guys promised me. But I need to be in respectable fights. I want to fight champions. I want to fight the top tier fighters. And when you put your opinion aside, right? We all have our opinions. This guy's good. That guy's not good. And the problem with opinions, it can leave you open to bias, right? Leave your opinion aside. We can talk opinions. But the facts are he's fighting champion after champion after champion. Please refute it. Please tell me that I'm not saying the truth. Right? Like all bullshit aside. Like don't tell me Callum Smith's not a champion. Don't tell me he's not the ring champion. Don't tell me he's not the WBA regular champion. I'm sorry, super champion. Don't tell me he's not a better option than Yildirim, obviously. I would have criticized him for that. Even if the Canelo cartel didn't want to hear anything about it, I was still going to criticize him about it. You know what I mean? But in this one, I can't criticize him because he made the move that I believe is good. Benavidez, I'm going to stay consistent. First of all, Chief Funky, he didn't go for that belt. Second, hey, guess what? He's like, I don't want the easy route. Let me fight a champion. All right? I'll fight a champion here in Smith. I don't want to fight Yildirim. Okay? Advil Urine. Okay? The Anvil Neidhart. I don't want to fight him. I want the Bret Hart of the division. You know what I mean? The best there is in the division. That's what I want. Not the Anvil Neidhart. Okay? Because Saul Canelo Alvarez here, he's in a mission. So, hey, Benavidez, you missed weight. Benavidez needs to earn his way back to that title contender. Just give me one good fight, and guess what? We'll put you in the ring with Canelo. How about that? Okay? And then the other champ, hey, he was scared. You know what I mean? He didn't want to fight. Second time, offered again. Excuses, right? But I'm only going to have a month to train. How long do you think Canelo has to train? He's going to have the same amount of time as you. Sometimes guys don't have any opportunities, but you got to seize the moment, okay?
Yeah.
You have to seize the moment. Look, when Sergio Martinez wasn't going anywhere in his career, right? They robbed the guy after the Kermit Cintron fight, beat him 3 times in one night. Okay, knocked him out. Okay, the ref believed him that it was a headbutt. It wasn't. Okay, his corner ran into the ring during the fight. That should have been a disqualification. Okay, and everybody knows he won that fight for real if you go to the scorecards. Okay, at the end of regulation of that fight because he dominated Cintron, beat him 3 times, and 3 times like Judas. Like Judas se lo negaron. They robbed his ass. But guess what? An opportunity came, right? Kali Pavlik couldn't make a fight. He suffered an injury, right? Paul Williams needs an opponent. A couple weeks' notice. He steps up, okay? And guess what? Has a close fight against Williams. Eventually beats Pavlik and knocks out Williams in the rematch. He seized the moment. That's what boxing's about. Be a Spartan. Be ready for war. Be ready for when the moment comes. That's what you got to be ready for. That's what boxing's about. Andy Ruiz. Opportunity came, right? One man's miss is another man's opportunity. What happened? Miller test positive, right? Only a couple weeks, though, right? Andy Ruiz, are you going to seize the moment? He did. He called Eddie Hearn personally, messaged him personally, said, please give me this opportunity. Please let me fight Joshua, okay? Short notice, and guess what? Look at what happened. He became heavyweight champion of the world. He blew it later, right? But now but even after that loss, he's in a better position now than he was before that Anthony Joshua fight. That's undeniable. Okay. Plus, he got 2 big paydays out of it. Caleb Plant, you let yourself down. Okay, you keep wanting to make all these excuses. Okay, I salute Callum Smith. He signed a contract. Both guys had the same amount of fucking time to prepare for the fight. Okay, Canelo was stuck in litigation, got out of litigation. He's like, yo, who wants to fight? Okay, let's go. Who wants to show up? Callum Smith showed up, so credit to him.
Man, well said, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's here. We got Raw Boxing TV. Thanks for being here. A-Rod is always here, man. He says, saludos, vatos. Matthew Thompson is here. Bruce Goes says, wasted days and wasted nights. Yes, classic song right there, man. One of my all-time favorites. We got Chain with Eyes here also. Make sure that you guys are hitting that like button for me, man. Yeah, I mean, this is all good stuff, man. I was expecting a little more from the cartel, but we'll see. You know, I'm going to ask another question about this situation.
People are going to think I'm part of the cartel.
Yeah.
I pumped up a little better than the cartel. What's up, cartel? Pump them up. Come on, let's go.
Oh, man. So here's what I'm going to say, man. You know, obviously I like of him being a free agent. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, now there's no this side, that side, no politics, nothing like that. He's going to be able to fight whoever he wants now. You know, there's no promotional battle, none of that. That's gone. So this opens up the window for a lot of great fights. A lot of great fights with a lot of guys who, again, you know, we can't play this game. Who's on this side of the street, that side of the street, like that's gone. You know, and you know, he comes back and he's taking on a big. I mean, this guy's pretty big for 168. Callum Smith, good champion. You know, he's got the ring belt. He's got the Super WBA, and you know, this is a good fight for Canelo coming back. I mean, people are forgetting this guy hasn't fought since November last year. So, you know, it's going to be over a year since he's been in the ring. So there's going to be some ring rust. You know, we saw it last week with Earl Spence. You know, he came out on fire. You know, but then we seen, you know, in the later rounds, and at least on my card, rounds 9, 10, and 11, you know, he decided to move around a little bit, not throw his hands as much, and he admitted himself he got a little bit tired. So there is going to be some rust there, you know, and it's just a matter of how quickly he's able to shake it off and get back in the rhythm of things. But I like the fight. I don't think there's any room to criticize the fight like some people are doing. You know, it just kind of seems like anything this guy does, they're going to criticize, you know. This is a hell of a fight for a guy who's been off for over a year. You know, a hell of a fight. Now, again, there's other guys there, you know, other sexier names than Callum Smith, obviously. But now we have the opportunity to see those fights because he's not tied down to DAZN anymore. You know?
Yeah, but at 168 pounds, not to cut you off, but real quick, at 168 pounds, one guy literally just missed weight and had a weight advantage over an opponent. Okay, so everybody wants to talk about Canelo. Okay. Because that's what you do. If you don't put in the effort to lose those extra pounds like your opponent did, you have an advantage now, okay? But not only that, we shouldn't reward that guy, okay? Benavidez, we shouldn't reward him, all right? And shout out to you know, to his publicists and all that. You know, I know her, all that good stuff. Hey, you know, I'm just keeping it real. That's all right? But I got to tell you, you don't reward him with a Canelo fight. He needs to fight somebody else or earn his way back and maybe get his strap back. And then, you know, maybe he should fight Advil Urine or something. You know what I mean? You get your belt back. And the other guy didn't want to fight, bro. Caleb Plant doesn't want to fight. Okay? He doesn't want to fight. What are we going to do? Drag the dude to the ring? Well, what do you want Canelo to do? Right?
I think
you can't drag this guy to the ring to fight, you know?
Go ahead, no, Paul.
I think Yildirim actually already lost his opportunity somehow. Maybe he got some step-aside money, you know, because they're saying, and I mean, rumors have been circulating for at least a month now that, you know, that this fight is going to be for the vacant WBC belt also, you know.
Have they announced that?
They haven't, but it only makes freaking total sense because the other dude's
we don't know yet. I mean,
the other dude's a diamond champ. And Canelo's a franchise champ, and that gives them like dibs over any kind of vacant WBC title that they want to.
Diamond champion for real?
What when he had that when he went over there and won that tournament That's the belt that he won. They gave him the diamond WBC belt.
Man, I'm telling you that we gotta like even I lose track. Like so, Caleb, so
Caleb
Smith is a diamond champion of WBC
Yes.
at 160 pounds. What's going on over here?
Wow.
Yeah. I thought you guys knew that when you won that
No.
tournament over there in.
I'll admit it. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
that
there's
boxing
too many
Super Series
belts.
or whatever.
Too many belts
Yeah,
to
I
keep
mean,
track
but
of, man.
that's not like the diamond belt isn't like a.
We
belt
know it's not an official
that you
belt, but it
defend,
gives you dibs to challenge the champion
Ah.
whenever you want. And the dude saved his opportunity for right now. And I'm
Either
sure
way, it's the best option at 168 that was available for Canelo. Period.
But
Okay.
can we all just admit that Yildirim doesn't deserve any kind of shot? Nobody
Of
gives
course,
a
I'll
fuck.
agree with that.
if
Oh,
he-
I'm
if
on
he
board
gets-
with that.
Yeah,
You
nobody
went out
gives
and
a
live with that
fuck
one now, no Paul.
Ain't,
You know,
ain't
man.
nobody gonna cry if they don't give him his chance. Oh, because the dude waited there for a long time. So damn scumbags, they're not giving him his.
He lost his last fight. He lost
Yeah,
his duel.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I don't want to hear from anybody because you guys already know when it comes to Canelo, people like to nitpick like a MF and somebody.
But if they made him the mandatory, that means they owe him a shot, though. So I think we should just put Benavidez in the ring with him. Let Benavidez beat him up and get a belt back, and Canelo he'll get the belt then. No, Paul, it's all good.
Well, they might have to allow Benavidez to make up his catch weight because the dude missed weight, and we know that automatically, basically, he missed weight by 3 pounds. That means, he should think about moving up already. And it's not like I'm ducking the fight, bro. Because
No. He missed weight, and he's been on record saying, "Look, I made a mistake. It's the bubble, blah blah blah." And he says he can still make 168. So let's see if
Canelo,
he can.
Canelo wants to reward him with a Canelo fight now, but other than that, we're in agreement.
Fuck, you're an apologist right now. Come on, man.
I'm just going off what he said, man. I'm not making anything up here. I'm just going off what he said. He said I missed weight because of the bubble. Now, he's not the only one to say that.
So I'm not allowed to trust something that Oscar said a long time ago that turns out that it was true all along. But you can go ahead.
Are we gonna go over all the things Oscar said that weren't true, no, Paul?
Like, I mean, there's the things that mattered. They were, they all came true. Like when he said he was going to fight Triple G, everybody said, "Oh, there's no way. Oscar's
Oscar also said him and Canelo had a great relationship. So obviously that didn't.
That's something that doesn't matter either way if it's true or not, right?
Oh, come on.
Let me read some of these comments first. Let me read some of these comments real quick, and then we'll get back into that. Matthew Thompson says Canelo has the best resume in boxing, and it's not even close. You can pick apart anyone's resume. Raw Boxing says no one has a record like Canelo's right now. Shane with Ice responds to that, says Pacquiao does. Well, yeah, we've kind of mentioned that already. Besides Pacquiao, 97 Roughs here. He says, "What's up, vatos? Hey, thanks for being here." And he also says, "I want Canelo to dye his hair brown so he can look more Mexican." Oh, this guy is something else, man.
I don't know, man. Canelo, like, there's people that want him to speak English. There's people that want him to dye his hair brown to be more Spanish. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Poor guy.
Well, let's talk about this thing. All right, I'm only repeating what Benavidez said. That's all I'm doing. Let's give him a chance to see if he can still make it. Like I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people have said that the bubble has affected them. Now, honestly, my thing is this: I don't like excuses. So I'm just saying, hey, look, your opponent was in the bubble as well, and he made weight. So, I'm not giving him a pass, something like that. It's completely on him.
Now, granted, yeah, Dave, I fixed the mic. That's true. But granted, okay, let me tell you something, man. All right, at the end of the day. Okay, like however anybody wants to slice or dice it, like everyone has these expectations. Canelo has to fight everybody. You know what I mean? Canelo, you're gonna fight Smith, and you better fight Plant next, and you better fight Benavidez next, and you better collect all the belts. Benavidez and Plant, no pressure for them or what? I think they should fight each other. While these guys do it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yes, I agree. And we got a guest here. We got Boxer Grill here. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
Not
Chilling.
much. We're just talking a little bit about Canelo here and how he's came out and said he's ready for all the smoke. You know, he says he's willing to work with all the promotions. You know, we're just having a little conversation about it. You want to chime in on that? What do you think about that?
This is the one subject I didn't have anything for.
Oh, okay,
Canelo.
that's fine.
I mean, let him do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, go.
So you want to see him do it first?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're right there with you, man. You know, I think it's great that he's, you know, putting himself out there saying, "Hey, look, I'm ready for all the smoke. You know, I'm ready to work with anybody." But
I mean, he's a great, skilled, solid fighter. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Canelo. I think he's just a great, he's a great fighter, period. So why shouldn't he keep fighting? But COVID is just,
Yeah.
kind of put brakes on a whole bunch of fights.
Absolutely, it has.
And made
Now, no,
some
Paul.
jokes about some fights too, which we'll get into later.
Yes, for
Right.
sure. Now, no, Paul, you had a beef, man. You got a bone to pick with us here. So let's hear what you got to say, man. Go ahead.
Nah, I didn't have no beef, bro. I was just playing that off over there with that. I don't really care about that, man. I was just, using the situation to remind you guys how you guys were back in the day, when Canelo was coming up. That's it. But move that aside because it really doesn't matter. I mean, did you guys hear the news also? They interviewed him and he's saying that, he wants to be undisputed also at 168. So, that's some good
That's
news for you right there,
At
man.
168.
that's something I would certainly love to see because I'm a big fan of Undisputed, and that's something that Canelo, whether you like it or not, has never done.
And
So-
if you look at the landscape, for me, the important thing is resume, names on your resume, and champions that you beat. That's the important thing for me. But if you look at the landscape at 168, it's going to take him at least 3 fights to be undisputed. You know what I mean? He's going to have to fight real champs. So it's not like other situations where people become undisputed by just beating somebody that already has all the belts, or you know what I mean? You fight 2 guys and you get there, which has been in other people's cases. And this is not a weak division that we're talking about here. So,
No,
it
it's
truly
definitely
would
not.
be something special for him to be undisputed at 168.
So I want to ask you this, No Paul, since you're the one of the members of the Canelo cartel. You can see right there in the bottom right hand screen. All right. Okay, let's say he beats Smith right next week. Beats him, becomes the Ring Magazine champ at 168,
Caleb?
and Caleb Smith,
Okay.
and this the WBA Super Champ. Who should he fight next? Now, think about this again. We got guys like Charlo who have been saying a lot of things about Canelo, saying he'll move up to 168, he'll move up to 175. That's according to him and his
Charlo
trainer
said
Ronnie
he'd move
Shields.
up, or
He
one
said
of
he would
them?
move up. Do you think he should, if that fight, if he moves up, where he says, "Look, I'm ready to move up," does he fight him next, or does he go after the belts? What do you think he does, No Paul?
Well, to be honest, I think that in this case, going after the belts would be more important. I don't really I really don't pay too much importance to what Charlo wants and what he, you know what I mean? Because it's not a situation where whatever Charlo wants, he gets. No, it's nothing like that. The dude has to, basically, in my opinion, he has to earn his shot. Well, if Canelo wants to give it to him, it's cool. But I think it'd be a huge waste of time. It would almost be like fighting on going back down to fight Andrade at 160. It just wouldn't make no sense. But if he wants to fight him, it'd be a damn good fight. It would be a good fight. But
It would be a very good fight.
yeah, but in this case, since I think that being undisputed would be a lot more important, in my opinion.
I agree. Matthew Thompson says Canelo will go for Billy Joe Saunders next. Do you think that's a possibility, No Paul, that he does that?
Yeah, I think it is because even though we we kind of praise Canelo for being a free agent. We also got to understand that comes with some, with some kind of like rules, you know. When you're a free agent, you sometimes have to sign for a 2-fight deal, stuff like that, or else, if that's usually how it's gonna go. He can't just go in there and take a belt and then go beat to PBC and then take their belt and then go to, you know, what I'm saying? He can't just do that because the promotional companies also don't want to let somebody just come over there and take their belt. So, that's a huge possibility, fighting Billy Joe next. And it would be an awesome fight.
That's a fight that I talked about for a long time. It was talked about right when the pandemic hit. It was talked about. I came on my channel. I said, look, I like that fight for Canelo because Billy Joe Saunders he's a southpaw. He's got a style to look good against, and I think it would give Canelo some issues. You know what I mean? I still think Canelo would beat him, but I think it would be a really good fight for him. And his fans attacked me for it for some odd reason. Like I'm saying,
People
this guy
attack all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this is a good fight for him, and they're like, no, man, it ain't, and this and that. And what do you think, Boxer Girl? Billy Joe Saunders, is that a good fight or?
Yeah, I think so. I was just looking him up, but yeah, I do.
Yeah, he doesn't have the
Sorry
most
about
entertaining.
that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders doesn't have the most entertaining fights, but he is difficult to look good against. I mean, he's just a weird, awkward guy in there. D-Style, I mean, we've already talked about this months ago, but what do you think, man? Do you think he goes after Billy Joe after this fight?
Billy Ho Saunders.
There we go.
Let me just say this. Look, I don't think Billy Joe wants to he's asking for too much. He's pricing himself out of the Canelo fight. He doesn't want it, but Canelo might oblige though. He might give him what he wants just to collect that belt. So we'll see, but it's likely. I think it's more likely than the other fights. I think because and then the zone can still offer him something to make that fight happen.
Yeah, definitely, man.
It's
What
been
about
very
Charlo,
quiet.
man? You think if Charlo decides to move up, like he says he wants to, does he take that fight instead of fighting another champion or another contender at 168?
I don't think Charlo moves up unless he's being offered the Canelo fight to move up. Otherwise, he doesn't have an incentive to move up. You could just stay at 160 and fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Personally. And so unless he's offered the Canelo fight, I don't think he'll move up. Not right now.
97 Rough from Leaving in the Ring says Billy Joe Saunders versus Triple G first. That's actually not a bad fight.
Billy Joe.
I would like to see that. What do you guys think? Who wins that one? I think Billy Joe Saunders wins that right now. I think he does. What do you think, D-Style?
I think I would favor Billy Joe just because of the movement. I wouldn't count Triple G out. Plus, they're going to fight at 168, I assume, right?
Yeah.
It would be nice to see Triple G move up at least one weight class in his career. He's never moved up. Like everybody criticized Canelo for waiting so long to fight him, even though Canelo was the one moving up. Well, how about Triple G? I mean, he was challenging Carl Froch just like a couple years ago at 168. You know? And when the Ward called him out, all of a sudden Ward was too big. Last time I checked, Froch was bigger than Ward.
They were game to fight Chavez also. Chavez Jr.
Dude, I remember
Jr. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Hey, who remembers?
Jr. is
No.
the son of the legend.
Come on, boxing girl, whoop it out.
No.
He
Chavez
does
Jr.
not
is
the passion. He doesn't.
That's an understatement.
He'd rather
I can't believe that we're talking about Chavez Jr. on my channel. Like I banned this guy from my channel, but no, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't want to talk about him either. There's nothing to say, really.
Yeah, that guy is a waste of time, a waste of space, everything. But
yes, exactly.
Who remembers this one from Team GGG? Right, I'll take on anyone from 154 to 168.
By the way, I hate it when people say GGG. Triple G.
GGG.
Triple G.
So from now on,
Triple G.
GGG.
GGG. Like what did he get? Did they catch him doing something or what? What's going on?
Good one. Yeah.
But who remembers that? They wanted all smoke from 154 to 168. And then I remember guys like Andre Ward said, well, let's get this thing on. And it was always too big. Erislandy Lara comes out and says, hey, I'll move up and fight you. That fight never happened. I mean, those guys talked a lot, man. They never backed it up, People
All we heard was,
about
he'll beat him anyway, or but that guy's too big. And they were just picking shoes. It's all good.
Hey, but the Triple G hype was something else, man. We all got to admit that. If you
By the
go
way,
back, man, it was something else, bro. I mean,
GGG,
they gave.
you mean?
Like, he can't fight Lara, right? He couldn't fight Lara because he's going to win that fight easy. But look at the dudes he did fight, though. He, come on. He was fighting a bunch of
He fought Willie Monroe. I mean, a guy who never did nothing in his career.
I don't have issues at all with Willie Monroe, but I mean, I just don't think Triple G should have been fighting him. You know what I mean?
Funny thing too, if you used to watch ESPN Deportes in Spanish, if you used to watch it back then, the people in the comment section and the hosts of those shows, they were always like, "This is a real champ, like one of the best middleweights ever. He's fighting nothing but top 10, champions and opponents." And you'd be like sitting there like, "What the hell are these people talking about?
Who are they talking about?"
About GGG fighting all these top-rated opponents, always,
GGG.
Yeah.
He's a triple gangster, whatever.
GGG.
Man. Well, I would like to see him move up for sure, at least one time in his career. I mean, middleweight is not what it was a few years ago. A lot of the guys that moved on and moved up, it's time for him, man.
It's time for new meat.
Yeah, if he's not going to fight Charlo, who's a champion there, then let's move it on up. There's a lot of good fights there.
By the way.
But I think he's going to be the meat when he moves up, though. You know what I mean? Okay, he's going to be the meat, and Billy Joe Saunders going to be Rocky Balboa. You know what I mean? Hitting the meat.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know. That fight might turn out to be a stinker, though, if you think about it, because
think so.
GGG is now a back foot fighter,
Oh, man, you keep doing it, bro. God damn.
I mean, Little G is a back foot fighter now. And
big drama show, baby.
They might just both start running away from each other,
And stop saying GGG.
GGG, come back.
How's Little G? How about Little G? Is that better?
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Mexican style, baby. Mexican style. All right. Don't forget that one either.
GGG.
But I think we've cooked on this one long enough, man, with Canelo.
I think we overcooked it at this point.
Yeah.
Let's try it already.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay on, No Paul. I know you wanted to come on and talk some Canelo, but we're not the cartel, so we're not going to talk about him the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll stay for a little bit.
Yeah, stay on as long as you want, man. It's not an issue. My next topic is this. Now, we had the biggest pay-per-view in 3 years with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. These guys, both in their 50s, they come back and they do 1.2 million, which a lot of people are reporting that it's probably more than that. That's probably more like the minimum of what was sold out there on this fight. We get Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, which is, and I'm not going to hate on the matchup. Great matchup. But in my opinion, not a pay-per-view fight. Just not.
No.
And I'm hearing rumblings now. I'm not going to say who or what, but I'm hearing rumblings that this thing did not do well. It did below what Spence had did against Garcia, and it did below what Spence did against Porter.
I don't know. I don't know if I trust that source, Chief. I'm just going to say that right now.
It's not official. I'm not trusting it 100% either. But it's sounding like it's not going to do as well as it. As
I can't even say that. I just can't. Like, we just don't know.
Do you think it does 1.2?
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
no.
My question to you guys is this: Is pay-per-view? Is it gone? Or does boxing need to rethink the way that they do pay-per-view? Like, is it dead?
No,
I'll let you go. I'll let the lady go first. Go ahead.
Nothing's dead with boxing. It's this COVID it's making it seem like it's dead right now. And so they're doing these shows, which I have a lot of opinions about.
This is uncensored. Let them out. Let's hear it.
I'll get to it. I just think that I'm 50 years old. So when I watched boxing, we didn't have to pay for it. And I get it. And I mean, right now, because of audiences and everything or lack thereof, like what are the options? Either they don't fight, they don't have fights, or they do pay-per-view. But when it was in the heart of it, and like, you know, the big fights for fighting and everything, I just don't think that paying like $70 for a fight, you know, I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, I'm old school, so I mean, we used to just switch the channel.
I remember those TVs too. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad would be like, "Get up and change the channel. It's time for the fight." So, and we didn't have to pay for it, and I miss those days. But everything is all about money, and everything is all about money.
Definitely. I agree. I remember
all about
watching.
money, and that's why these fights that you're going to bring up in a minute is just ridiculous. So, and I'm talking about Mayweather and Logan. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's terrible. Yes,
It's
that's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing, and it's all about money. It is clearly all about money. Why the hell? Sorry, I don't mean. I just gotta go. Why the hell would Mayweather come out to fight this tool? Because it's all about money.
Yeah,
it's all about the entertainment. Who the hell is Paul Logan? I don't watch YouTube. I don't know who he is. I just know that he's all of a sudden he's like fighting on a ticket with Mike Tyson, and I thought it was all like charity driven and everything, and it's like, what the hell? Paul, what the fuck? What is he doing? Oh, I could say what the fuck. Okay, what the fuck is this fucking guy doing out there? Yes, he did knock out Nate Robinson, and that was pretty epic. But I'm not giving this guy any credit at all, because I could punch anybody out just like that with a punch. I mean, it's I just.
She's frustrated.
I'm so frustrated because I have so many opinions about it that. I
will say this though,
on both sides of it.
The guy who fought Nate Robinson, that's this guy's brother. So the guy who Mayweather's fighting is the brother to the guy who fought Nate Robinson, and he hasn't even won a fight yet. He hasn't won. He lost his only professional fight to a gamer, I believe. Right?
He got robbed. He got robbed.
Yeah, that's what the fans say. He was robbed. He should have won, but either way, he lost.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? I was talking about the Mayweather.
Paul Logan, yeah.
The Logan fight. Yeah.
I thought you were mentioning the guy that fought Nate Robinson. That was Jake Paul. That's my mistake then. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. Isn't that the same person? It's the same person.
No, it's a brother.
No,
there's
brothers.
Wait.
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah. There's two of them, I know.
Now it just got worse for me.
So little brother, right? Little brother knocked out Nate Robinson. Now Mayweather is challenging the big brother, you know what I mean, to a fight.
And it's all about money, obviously.
Yep.
Oh, because he's going to bring in, because he's going to bring in the. I just don't. Why?
Yeah, that was a clown move, man. I mean, I saw him on Twitter.
Why would Mayweather do that?
Maybe he's going broke. There's a lot of people saying that he's very careless with his money. You know, he hasn't fought in 3 years.
Fire, so yeah.
Yeah, that's very careless with your money, and that's probably it's probably what it is. You know, the guy's probably just running through his money. He's like, hey, I need another payday, and this guy has a lot of followers.
A lot of followers.
Let me just say this: boxing may. Well, actually, are we still on the? Because I really just want to get to the fight, but to answer your question really quick, Chief Funky, I don't think pay-per-view model is dead. Just in really short, they just got to pick the right fights to put on pay-per-view. That's what
exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
I've been saying that
right
for
fight
a long time.
But this Logan Paul thing, look, boxing made Mayweather hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. If he already pissed that money away, it's on him. I have no idea. It's all speculation. That's why I'm not even going to say he's broke because I don't know. Okay. But if he is, right, and he's looking to do these types of events to make his money back, like at least do it with a good opponent. At least give something back to the sport. Because right now, I think he's hurting.
A deserving opponent.
Right.
One who has spent who breathes boxing.
But the public is not going to
But they're not going to.
Let me say this. If the public would have reacted negatively to the Conor McGregor fight, let's say that fight didn't sell, then right now we would see Mayweather coming back, challenging an Errol Spence, challenging a Crawford, fighting somebody with a pulse, okay, and that belongs in the ring with him, because that's what he would have to do to sell. Or
I'm not sure about that though, G. I mean,
no, but it would be more likely. But
it would. But I'm not sure. He didn't even do that.
Hold on now. I'm cooking, no problem. The chef is in the kitchen cooking. Hold on. All right. I just want to make this last point. I promise you're going to say something, but let me just say this. Right now, you made me lose my train of thought, but go ahead, no Paul.
Well, here's what I'll say.
That's why you interrupt, brother. You mess up people's train of thought. Go ahead.
Haplotype, what's going on, man? He's here. Stick around, bro. We want to ask you to jump on in a little bit. I want to say this. Now, I agree with you guys, with D-Style, about how, you need to put the right fights on pay-per-view. And in my opinion, the right fights are super fights. Like, back when I was a kid coming up, in the 90s, the only fights that were on pay-per-view were super fights. And I mean, fights that were, unification was on the line, maybe undisputed. It was a 50-50 fight. Two of the best guys in the division. I don't know who's going to win. We have guys on this side, guys on this side. It's a toss-up fight. Those were the kind of fights that were on pay-per-view. Like I always refer to this one as my favorite pay-per-view. And, it gave me the most butterflies in my stomach the whole day. The late summer of 1999, Oscar De La Hoya versus Tito Trinidad. Big fight. Big fight. But that was a super fight. We had two young, undefeated welterweight champions going at each other. And, that's a pay-per-view fight to me. Like, Danny Garcia versus Earl Spence is not a pay-per-view. Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz is not a pay-per-view. The Charlo brothers fighting, that's not a pay-per-view. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Why do you think Spence and why do you think that he's not pay-per-view worthy? I'm just curious.
I'm not saying him in particular. I think the matchup is not. To me, him against Danny Garcia, that should be a fight that was on pay-per-view. Or they could have even done it on Fox. I mean, look, Keith Thurman was a unified champion, and he fought Sean Porter on Fox Network TV. And that did great. That did great. There was a sold-out crowd. They did a lot of people watching, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Even if we go back to the 80s, some of the biggest fights, some of the most memorable classic fights were on ABC Wide World of Sports. They were paid to do things like that. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I want to ask you one more question. Out of this whole year, all the matchups that we've seen, or all the matchups that could have possibly happened, which fights do you think were worthy of pay-per-view? If you're a promoter, you put on your promoter cap right now, which two fights or two fighters would you put together and make it a pay-per-view worthy of a matchup? Anybody can go.
Are you talking like if I were to make a fight right now?
Yeah, if you were a promoter and you're like, I want to put on a pay-per-view.
Any Pacquiao fight, because Pacquiao will sell. Okay, so and he's earned that, but Pacquiao versus Spence or Crawford versus Spence. That's it. Oh, and probably Fury against AJ, at least in the UK.
Yeah.
I'd like to see exactly what you said, D-Style. I would like to see damn it, I just lost it.
Pacquiao versus Spencer Crawford?
No, Crawford in general.
And Spence? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to see that for sure. I think that Crawford is very good.
Yes.
And I don't know. People gave him a lot of shit after his last fight. I don't know why, but
We got one of them here.
yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Basically fought a dead man.
He fought Italian.
Zombie walking.
I don't know about all that.
Dead man. What the hell kind of shit is that? What the hell?
I don't know
is
about
that?
that.
Hey, he looked like he was a dialysis patient.
Before.
Did you see him at the press conference?
Hey, no, Paul. You gave
What?
Canelo credit for the con fight, right?
No, I didn't, man.
No,
I
okay.
never gave him credit for that. I gave him credit for
But
the
you
knockout,
did
but
defend
not
the
the fight
possibility.
itself.
You
He
did.
already been knocked out by Garcia and stuff.
No, I mean the knockout
First
itself.
guy.
Not that he accomplished something.
But no,
was
Paul,
great.
you did defend the possibility of him fighting Yildirim.
No,
there was
I
talks of
didn't.
that.
I never defended
you were
that.
like, hey man, you never know what that could lead to, man. You know, I remember hearing that. You know,
How did I defend something that never even happened?
No, when it came out. It came out and you were like, hey man, G-Funk, come on, man, give it a chance, bro. What if it leads to this? What if it leads to that? You know, like man,
I do remember
fight,
saying
right?
that, but you see the circumstances he was in. I mean, any fight would have been okay, right? Those kind of circumstances. You're suing your promoter. You're having problems with Eddie Hearn sticking his nose in the business. You're dealing with all kinds of crap.
All right, fair enough. All right.
I mean,
yeah.
He's walking back. He's walking back.
Mexico native says he gave Khan credit for taking the.
hey, you remember Khan acting like he was all buff? You know, taking these weird pictures at weird angles. Like, I never get why these fighters do that, and they practically know they're going to get their ass knocked out. Yet they don't leave any room on the bone to like explain it later. Well, you know, I was too small for that fight. Nothing like that. The dude went with the bullshit and acted like, yeah, you know, I'm bigger than Canelo. Come on, Khan. Like, I don't get why fighters do that, man.
Nobody believes
that.
You're
talking about Amir Khan.
Okay. Ringside Reporter is here. Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you.
Hey, Brooke pulled the same thing when he fought Triple G. He was like, hey, I'm actually bigger than Triple G. And all the Triple G apologists were like, yeah, Brooke is bigger than Triple G, you know? Come on. Give me a break.
I agree with
funny.
Ringside Reporter here when he says Khan was winning before the knockout. I have to agree.
Come on, no, he wasn't.
I have to agree. I feel like he was winning more rounds, but the knockout was coming eventually.
Well, what round did he get knocked out? The fifth?
That is not
That
right.
was round 6. Round 6.
Okay, but let me see
2 rounds at the most.
What was that, no, Paul?
2 rounds? Oh,
2 rounds at the most. We can rewatch.
So here's the
fight.
thing, right?
No,
it was probably like 4 rounds to 2 Khan, but you could totally tell that Canelo was taking over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was beating that body up. But you could argue. I think I had like I had it pretty close though. I think I had like 3 rounds to 2 for Khan, maybe.
I had him up. Yeah,
but he was losing steam quick.
Oh,
he was on the east side of the vehicle, and there was still like 80 miles to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like we all knew it was a wrap.
Yeah, you could just see that Canelo was like, "Look, I'm not." The first couple of rounds,
I'm gonna knock this bitch out.
The leg movement, the hand speed was, giving him a little bit of issue. So he just said, "You know what? I don't give a damn what this guy hits me with. It's not going to hurt me. I'm just going to walk through it. I'm going to look to land something big." And that's exactly what he did. So it didn't matter that he was losing the rounds.
I never seen Canelo whine the punch to land it. Like he's like, he might counter this shit, but fuck it. Like,
it doesn't matter what he gets hit with. He was going to walk right. I mean, he's eating Khan's shots like M&M's that night. Like it was nothing. It was nothing to him.
Khan was the Snicker bar.
Sweet love to that.
Canelo was Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, definitely. He was like Pac-Man, eating all those punches like it was nothing. But yeah, I think that to get back on the pay-per-view thing, as far as the year goes, all the pay-per-views we had, the only one that I think even belonged on pay-per-view was Wilder Fury 2. That was the only matchup that I think was even worthy of pay-per-view.
What about Delfimo and
Jesus, I couldn't even remember his name. That's what I was talking about. Wilder.
I don't as much as I loved that fight and it was a great matchup and it did great numbers on ESPN, I still wouldn't have put that fight on pay-per-view. Loma versus Lopez. At least not yet, because Loma doesn't have the big name. He's, he's got a lot of, support. People saying he was the best in the world at the time, and I agree. At the time, he was up
somehow.
there. Yeah, he was
Why
up
not
there
through pay-per-view?
And good thing it wasn't even on pay-per-view, so we did good there, right?
Yep.
And what about the pay-per-view? What about the one true fight that happened on pay-per-view, which was Rosado against Jacobs?
Oh, snooze fest.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, Rosado gets the shit end of the stick every single time. That guy is a beast, I think, and I don't know. At that night, I was just like, I'm like, every time I see Rosado, he's always in check. He's a great fighter, and he has such passion and such love for it that he just keeps going and going and going. And Hearn was talking shit about him like it was like the biggest snooze fest. I'm like, you are talking about two men that do this for a living, and he's talking one who had cancer, and like I don't know. It was just, I thought that I just got so pissed off at that, because then you got Logan, which I didn't even know they had twin freaking brothers, and like I can't. I don't even know. I didn't even know that.
I'll tell you what. I mean, look, Jacob said.
Bitch is fighting again.
Jacob said, "Hey, man, I guarantee a knockout." That's what he said. Okay.
I thought it was happening.
Knocked out.
But boxing is unpredictable, so I don't know how he could predict a knockout with Rosado.
Oh, well, he knocked me out. I was watching the fight. I was knocked out.
Yeah, he knocked me out too.
But in all seriousness, no. Look, here's the thing with Rosado. Has he improved over the years? Absolutely. Is he a good fighter? Yes. I don't know if he's great, but he's definitely pretty solid fighter. Top 10-ish, top 10, 15-ish. I think his chances are kind of up. The issue with Rosado, the same issue that Jacobs has. I just think Jacobs is a little more talented. He always leaves too many rounds on the table.
Rosado does?
Yes, he leaves too many fights.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't do that little extra to be undenied. He leaves it just enough to where you can argue it for the other guy. And I think that's the issue with Rosado.
For a guy who doesn't have
Rosado
a big
was the
punch,
first guy,
he's got to work
fighter
on that.
we when I did the show with you 8 years ago, he was one of the first fighters that I interviewed with you.
Gabriel Rosado, yeah. Hellstorm Sports, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So he's been 8 years ago. Wow.
He is better than he was then. I mean, he has improved over.
What do you guys think was his best fight, Rosado? I think his best fight was versus Triple G. That was probably his best fight in my opinion.
Mean, GGG? Yeah, I remember that one.
That wasn't his best fight. Come on. No,
I think the ref shouldn't have even stopped that, man. I think he would have made it all the way. And
according to GGG, he had the flu that night. Remember, he said that.
Yeah.
Hey, mysteriously, he had the flu in the Brook fight too. Whenever he has a bad performance, he's reportedly he was sick.
Are you talking about Rosado? Come on now,
we're talking about Lil G.
By the way, Angulo,
you're talking about who? I was trying to get you to say it.
He did fight Angulo, huh? He did fight Angulo, right?
Got knocked out by Angulo.
Oh man. I like Rosado.
G, man. G,
good dude, but I just consider him a good old college try type of fighter,
He's good. I was working with a fighter, and when they tried to do the BKB, do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
It was like that.
Yeah.
It was in like an octagon, but no walls, And the circle, and
4-round fights, huh?
It was pretty cool, and I was there. My guy was fighting on the undercard of Rosado against I can't even remember now.
It was that guy from Texas.
Let me be 50 and let me forget. I'm sorry.
Vera.
Yeah.
Brandon Vera.
That's it. Yeah.
Or Brian Vera.
He's just I don't know. He just, I don't know. I like him. I do. And
I mean, he's a very likable guy. He's willing to get in there with anybody, but he just
exactly.
he comes up short.
He will not say no to anybody. He'll take anything, whatever. I don't know.
And I like the last part, man.
I just respect him for that.
He told his mom, he's like, "Here's the check, Mom. We did it."
Yeah.
And one thing I have to say, with the one good thing that came out of that fight for Rosado, even though he didn't win against Jacobs, is that he went the distance. He did better than most people thought. Yeah. And he probably earned himself a couple of more fights, before he decides to hang him up, So, hey, I'm not going to be mad at a guy who's going to be able to earn some more money, and he earned it. He went in there, he went 12 when really he wasn't supposed to. Daniel Jacobs was supposed to go in there and take care of business.
You guys were sleeping, so how the hell do you guys even know what happened?
Well, I would stay awake. I was calling the fight here on my channel, and I can be like, "Hey guys, you know what? I'm going to bed. This fight is terrible."
I was like Nate Robinson. I was like, "This in bed, let's just knocked out."
God, that was a Manny Pacquiao dead weight fall.
Just me watching the fight. I
am not giving Logan any credit though at all ever.
What do you guys think about this? Speaking of pay-per-view, because this Mayweather Logan Paul fight is on pay-per-view, we got your boy D-Style Mauricio Sulaiman coming out and saying he is all for it. He loves it, loves the fight. Let me grab the tweet real quick. But this guy, let me tell you, man, he is something else.
Can you share the tweet?
He loved the fight.
I'll just read it and then I'll look for it.
He's all over that fight.
Michael Benson, quoting Mauricio Sulaiman, says, "This is going to be something good for boxing. This is going to bring millions of eyes to our sport. I appreciate Logan and Jake. They've worked hard. I will support Floyd Mayweather versus Logan 100%.
And guess what's coming? Guess what's coming? Another belt. And guess what? Mayweather just said that there's too many belts, but guess what? The way things work out, hey, bring it on. Give me a belt, huh? Right?
What the hell?
Hold on. This is going to be something good for the sport of boxing. This is going to bring the millions of eyes to our sport.
But Mauricio, you already said that.
Logan Paul and Jake, they have worked hard. I will support Floyd versus Logan 100%. We will go to Hawaii and we will have a 3/4 vote and decide that this will be for the Bridgerweight Championship of the world. There you go.
I need to get drunk right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mauricio Sulaiman. Let's give my hand, man. That's beautiful, right?
And think about it. You can't be against Floyd against Paul for the Bridgerweight Championship, or else you're against kids that got attacked by dogs. I'm just saying. Are you guys against kids that are attacked by dogs? What do you have against a kid that got attacked by a dog, G Funky?
I have nothing.
What? Oh wait! Oh crap!
What do you guys have against a kid that was? And then the chat trashing the Bridgerweight division. What do you guys have against kids that were attacked by dog? A kid that was defending his sister from a rabid dog, and you guys start attacking the kid. Why?
What kind of dog was it?
It's named after a kid that was attacked by dogs, guys. Bridgerweight Championship. We got to celebrate this. We got to put on the line in the Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul fights. What we got to do.
What?
Mauricio's a pendejo, man. A
pendejo.
Jesus, man. This guy, we all know that you're in it for the dollars, man, but this guy, he just doesn't care anymore. He just flat out, look, I don't give a damn. I'm not trying to hide it. What's that?
He cares about kids that got. Look at what he's doing for this kid that got attacked by dogs, and you say he has no empathy for anything.
Oh man,
what is he doing for some kid? God.
That's what he named the
Bridgerweight Championship is named after a kid that was attacked by dogs. He was defending his sister from a rabid dog, right? And his name's Bridger, and they're naming it the Bridgerweight Championship. We need to support this. So I want to make sure that the 92 Aku.
There he is.
A 92 AQ, a 92 AKU. Are you against kids that were attacked by dogs? Huh? Boxer girl, are you against kids that were attacked by dogs? What about you, No Paul? Do you hate kids that were attacked by dogs? What about you, G Funky? Okay, ringside reporter, Matthew
Absolutely
Thompson.
not.
Okay, all you guys, Sonteo Media, Julian Anaya. Well, where are
Kids
you guys
who
at?
attack
Support the
dogs?
kid that was
Yeah.
attacked by the dogs. All right?
I think it's great he wants to honor the kid, but you know, we don't need another damn
That's
division in boxing. There's too many to begin with. If anything, it should be getting rid of some. But oh, you're talking about so? What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with this tweet? Like, I guess you're okay with him
What's
backing
this
this?
mean that's wrong? I mean,
Eh,
I'm joking, right? I don't know 92 AQ joking. In all seriousness, guys, of course this is trash. Of course, I mean, first of all, if you're Floyd Mayweather, even though I'm against this event, right? Why do you need the WBC? You don't need the WBC. You can tell them to fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you literally don't need them. Why are you going to give them 5%, whatever it is, okay, of your purse, or 3%? Right? Well, why are you going to give them anything? It doesn't make
I really
any
want
sense.
to know why he came out to fight at all. I really would love to know.
Well, here's what happened.
I wish he would just call me and tell me, but he just doesn't.
Here's what
Go ahead,
happened.
Noble.
He got knocked out, and he pretended like he was worried about him. The basketball
Nate
player or
Robinson?
whatever. He
Nate
pretended
Robinson?
in a tweet like, "Oh, I'm there for all my brothers." That type of little weird shit. And
Who said Mayweather said that?
yeah, he
Okay.
pretended like he was there for the guy. Like, hey, I worry about all my brothers, and whatever. I don't know what he meant by that, but he used that as an opportunity to step in there and fight the other guy. Just,
It's a revenge thing, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah.
but he's not even fighting the guy who knocked out Nate Robinson. That's the funny thing,
It's so
but-
confused. It's so I am so confused. I feel like the dumbest person right now because I'm like, there's two blondes. There's two
Yeah,
of them.
Two brothers
Are
that
they twins?
Logan Paul and Jake
I don't
Paul.
think
One's
they're
the older
twins, but-
brother, one's the younger.
Okay,
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Okay, so Jake Paul is the one who fought
Nate.
Nate. Okay, and Logan. Oh God.
Logan lost to KSI, a gamer. Logan Paul's the one that lost to KSI, the gamer.
Yeah, he's a gamer on YouTube, KSI.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, my friend trained him.
Ringside
for that
reporter,
fight.
I believe you. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, he said he was robbed. And I mean, yeah, he makes a great case. The guy was robbed of a knockdown. They didn't give him a knockdown, and then they took a point away for hitting behind the head. And I mean, there's a legitimate beef there, but
Refs are so inconsistent in boxing.
He still lost, I mean, whatever happened to Mayweather, remember all the time, I fight guys coming off big wins, all the time. And I mean, I don't know what big win Logan Paul's had, but,
Right, I know, yeah. I mean,
No, I'm going to say one thing, though, to defend this event, just one. Okay.
Oh, you love GGG?
So, no. But, and I think this is what 92 AQ is getting at. Look. All right, I'm in the mood to agree with him. So let's do this, okay? You can't, like anyone that says, "Oh, but why is he going to get paid this much?" This is not taking money away from anybody. It's not going into any boxing budget, okay? It's not doing anything like that. It's not taking away anything from other fighters. People are going to buy the event, and that's it. You know what I mean? But because look, let's be honest, you're a WWE fan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, like people watch WrestleMania every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if people are going to watch something like that, that's just entertainment and fake, obviously. Okay,
fake.
All right,
yeah.
All right. If people are going to watch that, then what's wrong with them watching this fight? Like, is there, like, I don't like I hate the fight, and I think it's a joke of a fight and all that, but I don't think it's like bad for the sport though. I'm not gonna take that route. I don't think it's gonna hurt the sport or anything like that. I just don't like it,
No.
but
Right. As a boxing, when you're with you, like a real boxing fan is like not gonna be a big fan of this fiasco because it's a fucking joke. It's a straight up fucking joke. But entertainment wise, I mean, that it will be. It would be cool to see Mayweather out there to fight this fucking douche. And he probably just wants to get revenge against the white boys. So do it, but still at the same time, it's just like,
Did you see that interview though? Did you see that interview of I forget her name? She used to work for ESPN, and I think she was joking around, but still, she asked Jake Paul, like, "Do you think knocking out Nate Robinson is racist?" What's going on over here?
What the fuck?
Going way too far.
And then they doubled down. The guy said, "No, I don't think it's racist," and they're like, "Why not? Why isn't it racist? You're white and you knocked out a black guy. Like, what are you doing here?"
Oh my
goodness
gracious!
They're trying to stir a pot.
Wow.
So now Mayweather's coming out, and it's kind of some insinuations, right? I'm going to come back. I'm going to avenge Nate.
Well, that's what Mayweather meant about, when Robinson got knocked out, staying with my brother type.
That's pretty bad. Oh, wow.
But,
I'm just hearing that right now.
I don't think Logan Paul beats Clarissa Shields. Okay? I think Clarissa Shields beats his ass. I'm not even joking.
I love that girl. I love that girl.
What?
She's a
So
beast.
They asked him if it was racist. Wow.
No, they didn't ask him if they said, "Is it racist that you knocked out Nate Robinson?" Like,
that is the stupidest question.
And instead of saying, "No, I'm just joking," the guy literally says, "No, it's the sport." No, but how is it not racist? Like,
are you sure? It wasn't Dante's Boxing Nation that was interviewing him? I mean,
what the heck?
guys, let me say something here, guys. We know what time it is, guys. When they put Jake Paul in the ring with Nate Robinson, guys, like that is crazy, man. The guy signed a contract. He trained. He had a legit trainer. Like, oh, wow, that is embarrassing.
I think that. Well, me personally, I think we need to boycott these sort of fights, man, for reals, because
they're going to run their course. Like, these type of novelties, if you keep doing them over and over, they're going to lose like their luster.
It's just like draining the real money that we need for the sport, man. It's it's not a serious fight.
I
if you want to watch it, figure out another way to.
I disagree with you here, 92.8 KU. These things can't exist in the same universe, man. Like, if it's going to be an exhibition and a sideshow, then that's what it needs to be. This fucking guy, Suleiman, shouldn't even be involved in the fight. He's a legit president of a sanctioning body in pro boxing. Like, he should just stay the fuck out of it, period. Like, stop trying to legitimize this garbage, man. Like, let it be what it is.
I agree.
Let it be what the fuck it is, Go ahead, Boxer Girl. I'm sorry. I had to just get that out.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry about that, but that's the way I'm looking at it.
Hey,
if it's meant to be a circus act, then let it be a circus act.
And then when they challenge him on anything, he's like, "What a ridiculous statement!" Like, come on, man, get out of here with that.
Why that bothers me that chick asked
let me know when you want me to play the clips, you funky.
Okay, let me just answer this question here. I did not like the N1 basketball 92 AKU. Was it entertaining? Yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't. I never watched it over the NBA or took it seriously. But go ahead, D-Style, play your audio, man.
By the way, this is from Vice TV, and this is well, let me just play it here. Hold on. Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
To be honest, I almost started to protest this show because why? I'll tell you why. And this is our question of the week. We saw what happened to Nate Robinson, so I'm going to ask Jake Paul right here in front of America. Jake, considering where we are right now in our racial conversation in America, was what you did to Nate Robinson racist? That is the question of the week. Man.
That's a horrible.
Wow.
Those are the two chicks.
Hold up.
Listen, Jake, it's a sensitive time right now. We just had to witness a white man just knock a black man smooth out in front of all of America. So that's why I asked that. But just tell us about that moment real quick, because it looked like Nate was asleep before he ever even hit the canvas.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we train for. At the end of the day, boxing's a sport, and you train to win, and that's what I went in there and did, and I worked hard for this. And Nate is the one who called me out originally. So
I think he is frozen. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Sorry,
okay,
my Wi-Fi is unstable, like my relationship.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Okay. First and foremost, was it racist to knock a black man out? That is the question.
No, stop asking me that.
Kidding
I
me?
said no.
It's not racist.
It's a shitty question. It's a sport.
Why is it
It's
a
a
shitty
shitty-
question? Why is it a shitty question?
Because it is.
How does this have anything to do with race? It doesn't.
It's a fine question. We got to wake you up. You got to be a part of this conversation. That's right. Like, because if you can go from
There you go.
They're just stirring the pot.
Wow.
I
that
gotta
is
tell you,
unbelievable.
like I don't know if she was just joking or whatnot, but if you are joking about something like that, I wouldn't joke about it, period. But you gotta right away say, "All right, I'm just kidding." You know what I mean? Like at least say that. Like they were doubling, troubling. The dude literally, he looks uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, he looks uncomfortable, like in the interview, right?
Those are the two chicks. They have a show on the Vice channel, and it's like not something about not all about sports or something like that. And what the fuck, man? I can't believe that they
that
asked
was
that.
a bit much. I gotta be honest with you. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Because let me tell you something. That's like saying, "Hey, was Marquez knocking out Pacquiao racist against Filipinos?" I mean, come on.
Right.
Who says that?
And especially not right
Wow.
now. Like, why say that? Like, why? But these are two black women asking a white man. That's just I just
But look, on social media, I was seeing a lot of stuff like, we need somebody to advance Nate. Why do they do Nate like that? That's one thing. You know what I mean?
Nate needs to go
But
back.
when I hear certain things like Floyd, he's got to come in, he's got to do it for the culture and stuff like that. I mean, come on, man. Let me tell you something, dude. If Floyd wants to beat up Logan Paul, that's just Floyd, a professional boxer beating up Logan Paul. Okay, this has
like Connor.
I'm just saying.
I mean, are they going to ask Floyd that question? You know, if he when he beats up on this Logan Paul guy, like this is
Did you knock him out because he's white?
And if they
like,
did, it would be stupid if they were to ask him that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Floyd, was it racist of you to knock out Conor McGregor? No.
Floyd's gonna be like, well, you know, I believe all lives matter. You know, all
Nah,
lives
Floyd's
matter.
gonna be like, my thing is this. That's how he starts all his sentences, man.
My thing is this. You see. I'm gonna sell pay-per-view is what I love all my fans. You know, I'm gonna sell pay-per-view. I hold all the records. You know, I sold more than anybody in history, and it's my record because I won the fight. Manny Pacquiao didn't win the fight. I won the fight. And you obviously you never boxed before, so I don't even know why you're talking. Okay, and if you haven't done it at my level, so I don't even know why you even talk. You know what I mean? Like that's Floyd. Floyd don't give a fuck about anybody but himself,
and he doesn't even answer the question that you ask him.
He just wants to get paid to make a lot of money.
Straight up.
He loves money.
Matthew Thompson says only the decaps would ask Floyd something like that would be the title of the video on Dante's Boxing Nation as well. Decaps ask Floyd if knocking out Logan Paul is racist.
Nah, man, it's a sport of boxing. That's the whole objective of the sport. I mean,
Exactly.
it's like when when a quarter that doesn't even make sense, bro. Like it's the dumbest question I've ever heard, and the fact that they kept going and going. And look, I don't even like Jake Paul, but the dude obviously looked uncomfortable with that question. You know what I mean?
These aren't valid chicks that were asking him the question. I mean, there are a couple of bitches on the Vice channel, and you know. That's what that interview was like, and I don't know why why she asked that at all.
Asking stupid shit like that, huh?
That makes me want to slap a bitch. Like, bitch, what are you asking that shit for? Why?
You see, I'm Floyd. I'm Floyd. I'm the past president of sports and entertainment. So he's told you guys he's sports entertainment now. He's already been telling you guys.
Floyd is all about the money, about the show, and he
like,
knows where the money's at. He's like, oh man, if I fight this guy, I'm gonna get all this shit. I'm gonna get all this money and da 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 da, and I'm gonna have more whatever. And I don't know. That's
I
all I
want
think.
to say this to D-Style, man. I got to call you out on this, man. How dare you call pro wrestling fake, my man? Come on, man. We all know it's
Pro
for love of
wrestling
God.
is fake.
it's predetermined, man. It's not fake. All right.
Wrestling is fake.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah,
my
well, you
heart.
said GGG, so I get to say wrestling's fake. How about that? No, it's fake, bro. Come on. I never been like I loved wrestling growing up. There's not really a product right now that I would like, but you know, maybe I gotta keep up with the luchadores now or something. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Because
Lucha Underground is
Lucha
looking good,
Libre.
man. Yeah.
Lucha Underground was actually kind of cool. They do it like a show, but I know it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
There's a
That's
couple
fake.
of guys that the Lucha Brothers, man, and AEW, pretty good wrestlers, man. I mean, hey, I
Look at
like
these
them.
guys.
You know?
It's not fake. It's scripted.
You-
It's predetermined, man. It's
Not-
You gotta
predetermined.
have a
All
skill
right.
to throw a
What would
chair and
Floyd
flip
say if
around.
you asked him about wrestling, D-Style?
These guys have no fear, man. Cero miedo. All right, when they get in there, okay, they're
Man,
putting it all on the
Canelo's
line.
not gonna get
time
hurt.
was predetermined and not wrestling, okay? This shit is fake, right? Everybody knew a knockout was coming, but it wasn't fake, okay?
Oh, what'd you say, No Paul? You had a question, No Paul?
I said, what would Floyd ask? I mean, what would what would his answer be if you asked him if wrestling was fake?
You want D-Cell to answer that with his.
Look,
There we go.
I had the match with the Big Show. You know,
That's
we put
what
on
I
a
was-
show. You know, we put on a show. You know, I made $20 million. I mean, the money's real, right? The money was real. I could tell you that.
I
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
you, ringside
I think-
reporter. Wrestling's like
I
a
think
movie.
he'd be like-
all right.
This is Floyd right here. He'd be like, my thing is this. I went over there and beat the fuck out of Big Show. And that's my thing. No.
Did you see I beat him? I had the little chinchilla fur shorts on.
Hey, I'm
you
not gonna
know,
lie,
and-
bro. I liked how the TMT team jumped in, and then he hit him with a chair shot.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then he reached in right, and he got the brass knucks and hit the Big Show.
Oh, Lord.
See, that's what Tyson Fury had in the gloves, bro. He had those.
Oh,
those
there
things
was-
that Floyd
yeah.
used on the Big Show, but he put him in the glove. You see?
Hey, even Trump went out there and did some work, huh?
Oh,
WWE.
fuck him.
well, I don't want to turn it
That's
into
right. Yeah, he beat
Well,
up
we're not
his
going to
man.
politics. That's
Yeah.
what he did, right? He went over there and, did
Yeah.
a little bit of wrestling. It's,
Hey, I'd
Hey,
see Floyd Mayweather in the ring with Trump, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I got
You know what I mean?
a
I would
question
watch
for the
that.
chat though. Is Haplotype still around? Haplo, man, we want to speak to you about something, man. If you're still there, let me know. If not, we'll move on. Well, we are gonna move on, but I just want to know if you're still there or not. But I got some. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Get rid of this fucking stupid ass quote from Suleiman.
There we go. Thank you.
I have a question for you guys now. Well, actually, not a question, but I just wanted to get your reaction to this. Chocolatito and El Gallo Estrada.
oh, that's a badass fight, man.
It's close. They say it's very close to being done, man. What are your thoughts on that? Haplo, man, you want to jump on and join us real quick, man? Let me know, bro. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I say go. Let's get it. I can't wait to see it. That's it.
Absolutely.
I love
Rematch.
boxing.
It's one of the biggest rematches you can do in boxing. In my opinion, Estrada won the first fight. However, I also agree it could have gone either way. So I'm not going to complain, right? But I'm definitely looking forward to it. The resurgence of Chocolatito is something else. I got to come on here. I've said it several times. I counted him
Chocolatito.
out. Okay, I counted him out. He proved me wrong. He's back now. He's
Yeah.
back in the mix. But hey, man, I'm all for it. El Gallo, el mero mero, and I believe he will win the fight. And I believe it'll be on the Zone, which is why Black and Brown just showed up because he heard of the
Yeah, out
Zone
of
fight.
nowhere.
Like, oh, they're about the Zone.
What
Let
a
me
late
jump in here.
zone.
You know, right on time. But yes, I'm looking forward to that fighting. Yeah, and that's the type of those are the type of fights that are going to help the Zone. Okay, like
Yeah.
those are the type of fights that are going to get attention for the app. And regardless of what Mexico native says, you're a Mexico native, bro. Majority of the Mexicans are fighting in the lower weight classes. I'm just saying, but it's all good. Okay,
Come on, bro. I know you're going to
know-
watch that fight, Holmes. Come on.
but I got it.
Yes.
I'm going with El Gallo, baby, by knockout too. He's going to stop him before 9. It'll be a war though. Fight of your candidate.
And I agree with this from Mexico Data. Rakishi giving mofos the stink face ain't fake. Absolutely. Nopal, what are your thoughts, man? Chocolatito El Gallo.
Man, I absolutely love this fight right here. And, we've been waiting for this for a long time. And, it's finally getting here. And I have both of these guys on my pound for pound list. And, a lot of it has to do with the effort they've given, mostly Chocolatito, to take on tough ass fights, man. I know you guys don't do pound for pound lists, but I do. I absolutely love this fight, and I'm glad, and I hope that we get it.
It's gonna.
By the way, I would rather get punched in the face than take Rikishi's ass in the turnbuckle any day. By the way,
how much would they have to pay you for that?
Well, I'll tell you this: if they either have to pay me extra,
would you do it for 10 racks? Would you
they
do
would
it
have
for
to,
10 racks?
Here's what I would say: they would have to pay me extra.
That was a big Samoan guy with a thong on in wrestling.
Yeah,
and he would put guys in the turnbuckle and he would dance on their face.
Yes.
And for some reason, these professional wrestlers, like, I don't know if they got a bonus for doing this, but my God, that was something. But I'll give, hey, Vince did it. You know what I mean? Like, look at me, I'm gonna do it. So you guys got to do it.
I tell you,
I just threw
this,
up in
man.
my mouth.
I tell you this: if I was one of those guys, you would have to pay me extra, and I'd have to wash his ass prior to us walking out there. Make sure that thing was clean. I mean, I would hit that sucker with a fire hose, make sure that shit is clean before we get out there.
Some 300 grit sandpaper, bro.
Oh my God.
You'll be hitting that shit with a fire hose fucking cat. Like, whoa.
This just escalated in a different direction way too fast.
You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. All right.
Imagine what kind of bidet he has, man.
Wrestling. Oh my Lord.
He probably needs like a double imagine what kind of toilet that dude needs to sit on. He probably needs like a double toilet or something, dude.
Double toilet.
Oh my goodness gracious!
He just squats like squats like the sumo wrestling. You can't sit on it. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Oh my
and
God.
then he has to buy a mop to every time he wipes his ass. You know what I mean? Because he can't use toilet paper.
Oh, GGG.
Oh boy. Boxer Girl, we didn't get your thoughts on Choctito and El Gallo Estrada. What do you think?
No, I think you did. You did it. I just had a quick opinion about it. I love it.
Okay.
Can't wait to see it. And that's the type of shit these are the type of fights I love. Like, I just that's what I love about boxing.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a great fight.
Well, I thought somebody was saying something.
Oh yeah, I think we just got a little feedback from someone, but
my bad, my thing started playing. My bad.
Oh, no sweat, no sweat.
Don't
Man.
do
It's
that
uncensored,
again.
baby. It's uncensored. But yeah, this is a fight I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Yeah,
and it's personal. It's personal for me, and I'll tell you why. It's not a bad personal. It's a good personal because some of my best friends in the world are from Nicaragua. And these guys are big boxing fans. Let me tell you, they show up and they show out anytime their guys are fighting. They were big Mayorga fans when Chocolatito was doing his thing.
Ooh.
Every time he fought, we were over at my place watching it. I'm glad it's going to happen next year. Hopefully the pandemic's over because let me tell you, they're going to be here at my place and we're going to be having a good time. It's going to be Team Mexico versus Team Nicaragua.
I missed that.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great.
By the way,
so that's why I want it.
I like how Mexico native no-sold the little guy, just like they would no-sell like the cruiserweights in WCW, like they would just feed them to the NWO.
Yeah,
and
they always had the best matches too, man. But
it's the same in boxing.
Hey, D-Style, do you have an email for Haplo, or how are we gonna get him on, man?
I could send it to him.
Yeah, send him the link. He says he's ready to jump on. But yeah, that's why I want this fight, man, because like I said, these guys, I mean, and these are great people, man. The Nicaraguan people, very friendly. We've been great friends for 20 plus years, and matter of fact, my boy was watching us last night on D-Style's channel, and I'm a little disappointed he's not here tonight, but he knows what's up, man. We're probably gonna drop a nice little wager on the fight. He's a gambling man, I'm a gambling man, so of course we're gonna drop a little bit of money on this thing. You know what I'm saying?
How do you guys gamble on boxing? It's so unpredictable.
Sometimes you gotta feel it,
That's why it works. You know what I mean? That's why I bet on Teofimo Lopez and made my money. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I hit some great fights, big underdogs this year. me, D-Style, and ringside reporter Joe Habib, we hit some big underdogs this year, and all three of us picked Teofimo to beat Lomachenko. Great odds there. We all got paid something tremendous.
Nice.
I hit Franco over Maloney in the first fight. I hit quite a few underdogs this year, you know, and it's been a good year for me. You know?
Never
really
discount.
quick,
Yeah, never.
I wanted to say, can you imagine if it was like wrestling, like Chocolatito and like Estrada are fighting, and then
No.
Wilder just walks in the ring and knocks them both out, like, pah, pah. I'll call you out, Fury. You know,
Oh.
then he body slams one of them or something, like outside of the ring.
Ew,
Chicano
let's not
Prophet
go to
jumped on the train with
wrestling.
us too. Yeah.
And,
What's with that upside down position where
wow,
you know?
that's right. You gotta put the. I never thought about that, but anyway.
Right, yeah.
Man. You gonna tell me you never backyard wrestled D-Style?
Yeah, but I didn't body slam anybody, though.
You never
I'd
given no one a
body
power
slam,
bomb? You never give nobody a power bomb in the backyard, bro?
Like,
that what that move
I
is?
was the aerial guy. Like, I would get on top of like the trailer and on the trampoline. Any Mexican that had a trampoline knows they did this. Don't deny it, okay? Elbow drops and shit. You know what I mean? You can do everything in trampoline.
Man, let me tell you, I did some crazy things, man. We had a hardcore title back in my day, man. So we did some crazy stuff. Orale, Haplotype. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I
my
was part of the
Wi-Fi.
Baricuas, bro, of the WWF.
Orale, Los Boricuas in the house, baby. Sabio Vega.
Can you guys hear me?
Orale,
Yes.
Berlanga cartel in the house. What's
That's
up,
your
man?
yes,
baby?
Afro. We can hear you.
We hear you,
What's
baby.
up?
How you
What's
doing,
up?
man? How's
Hey,
everything
it's good
going,
to be
bro?
on the show. You guys have been doing great stuff. I don't know boxer girl, but nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, this is Haplotype.
So I was
I'm an
summoned.
OG.
Yeah, we
I'm
wanted to
an
add
OG too, 14
D-Style.
years.
Yeah.
So why was I summoned to the
Well,
panel?
Well, let me tell.
Go ahead, D-Style.
So,
Let's go.
and by the way, I don't even know if a boxer girl feels the same way as Haplo, by the way. It's probably because most people do, right?
Yes.
And a lot of you in the chat
Feel
that
the
never
way
heard
I
this
do?
before.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat, by the way, that haven't heard this before. If just do me one thing, just hear me out, okay? But hey, Haplo, yesterday you said, right, on Bloodstream, shout out to Blood Boxing, by the way, but you said that the Margarito Cotto fight, I don't know if you said it made you cry or not, but in that
No,
subject,
I didn't. I said it. No fight has ever made me cry.
it made you upset or something, right?
I was depressed after, for sure.
You were depressed after. That's like worse than crying. You know what I mean? But you literally said that Cotto was beating the shit out of him, and then Margarito hit him with some little punches, and then out of nowhere,
short.
he was all fucked up, and then
is what I said.
and hold on, and then you said you had like a weird feeling after that fight. You couldn't explain what it was, but then you knew right after the whole Mosley thing fiasco happened.
He's about the first time they
That's
fought?
fairly accurate. When I said little punches, I didn't mean that they were bad punches. I said that I meant that they were short shots that didn't look like haymakers, for instance.
Okay.
Bro, he was hitting with uppercut after uppercut. He was nailing his body.
But short
In fact,
shots.
but
that was
Haplo,
my point.
Haplo, Pacquiao spent a couple nights in the hospital after fighting Margarito with those body shots. Those body shots hurt. And that was way after
about
the
Pacquiao.
controversy.
That has nothing to do with this. What's your
It does,
question for
because
me?
he punished Cotto worse to the body than he did Pacquiao. That's why it matters.
He punished Cotto worse to the body than Pacquiao?
Yes. He was taking a beating, bro.
I mean,
Like, you got to rewatch that fight. If you honestly believe.
I watched it, and I seen Cotto boxing beautiful, just completely outboxing Margarito
On his back
for
foot.
7 rounds.
Yes. Cotto.
He was on his back foot,
amazing.
bro.
That might have been the best he ever fought.
D-Style, if you're going to defend Margarito, I'm going to come through this phone and I'm going to pull your
Yeah,
hair.
I don't get
Right.
it. What's your point?
I already
Like,
know. I already know.
My,
Like,
my,
Margarito's a
my
bitch.
belief,
First time I heard
here's, let me cut to the chase. My
do it.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Did he
Haplo.
mean he's going to leave? Is that what he meant by cut the chase?
Haplo, brother, we can't hear you.
Is he boycotting us now? What's going on? Haplo, you there?
Oh, he dropped out. Well, you come back in, bro, anytime.
So
I got about another 20 minutes or so.
let me
so
ask Boxfield this. Tell me what you understand about the Margarito situation. What do you understand about it? Like what from what
You're
you
talking about the
read and
first
all
time?
that. Just in general, what do you know about Margarito? Do you consider him? Do
I
you
don't
believe he
consider-
cheated in the Cotto fight?
Sorry.
I do.
Can you guys
I do.
hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
we can
ahead,
hear you
Apple.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to cut to the chase, and I'm going to say I think he cheated like he was trying to do against Mosley in the Cotto fight. And the reason I think that, now it's nearly impossible to prove that someone cheated after the fact without evidence. But when I look at the fight and I see the same kind of shots he was landing in the first few rounds, because I think he had some success in that second round already. He trapped Cotto on the ropes and he was hitting him with uppercuts and body shots and short shots, but the punches weren't affecting him. They weren't breaking his face up the way they did later in the fight.
Right.
And if you time it out perfectly to when it takes those elements that were in his gloves for Mosley to
What were
harden,
those elements?
those
the
elements were, hold on.
I'll take care of it, G Funky, but go ahead.
Sulfur and what was the other one? It was two sulfur and calcium.
Okay. What about it? Like,
that are two of the components to make something harden.
Right.
It wasn't plaster of Paris. A lot of people ran with the plaster of Paris narrative because it's just easy. Everyone knows plaster of Paris.
For the record,
two of the elements of plaster. Two of the elements of plaster were in his gloves that they caught against Mosley. So that takes about
what percentage of it?
20 to 30 minutes to harden. And
where are you getting this from? Because
right around, yeah, they have the wraps.
They do have the wraps, and they found nothing, Haplo. They found nothing.
No, they didn't. They didn't find nothing. They found 2 blocks in there. The guy got suspended for a year.
He would have been arrested
and taken to
jail, bro.
What are you talking about?
Just like happened in arrest, though.
He got suspended for a year, and his coach got terminated for life from boxing.
He was temporarily suspended during the investigation.
He was suspended for a year. It wasn't temporary. It was a year suspension.
No,
it was temporary, bro.
I need you to listen real closely to me, okay? I need you to listen real closely. Because at least, like, I know I'm not going to convince you.
I wasn't really done with my point.
No, but you can make your. I'm going to add to what you're saying. No.
You can rebuttal it.
Haplo, stop. I could respond to what you just said. You said enough. Let me respond to you, and then you're going to get to continue. You're going to get to keep talking. Don't worry about it. Okay? I just want to address a couple of things you said.
Sounds kind of hostile, bro.
Number one.
We're good here, bro.
Right?
We're good.
All we need is love.
Numero uno. Okay? You say, if you're going to say he was suspended, that's proof. No, he was suspended while they did an investigation. Okay? He still fought again, right? He didn't have a problem getting a boxing license again. He continued
in
to
Mexico.
Fight. Why is he fought in Texas?
He fought big fights after that, bro.
Like he got big fights. He fought in New York City after that. Okay?
Yeah, but that was after.
No. Hold up.
During the suspension, he fought in Mexico.
Look, bro, you got to talk. Let me talk. You have to let me finish my point.
But you're spinning a false tale.
No.
I'm not spinning a false tale. You're spinning a false tale. But even if you think it's false, you have to jump in, dude. Okay?
Within that, but you jumped in on me, bro.
No, but let me finish my point. You talked for 5 minutes, dude. Let me talk for the same amount of time.
Not even
I love
2
you
minutes.
guys, and I don't know you guys.
I didn't talk for 2 minutes, even, dude. What are you talking about?
Haplo.
Let him speak.
Just stop interrupt. I will tell you when you could talk. How about that? Okay. Just listen to what I'm saying. Like, you need to hear this.
All right. Well, I didn't come on here to be treated like badly. I have my view. You have your view.
No. Let me talk.
We're just talking about the evidence. That's all.
Just listen to what I'm saying, because you wasted 3 minutes. Just keep interrupting me. I'm not gonna let you continue until I get my points off. Okay? Look, number one, he was suspended. That's not a false narrative. While they did an investigation, then they ended up finding nothing. They found no proof that he had anything that would harden after 30 minutes. If you have the proof of that, I would love to see it, because they found nothing of that in the lab. They found nothing of that of consequence whatsoever, which is why he still got his license back. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that was an old padding that they put on him. Okay, that's number one. And there was nothing that they found that showed that it would harden in 30 minutes. That is a false narrative that was spread by HBO. Okay, that was spread by a lot of members of the media, like Dan Raphael. Okay, but there was never anything that showed that proof that it would harden the wraps. That's number one. And one more point before I let you continue. Okay, the second thing, he still got his license back. If they would have found, okay, let's say it's not plaster of Paris, but if they would have found proof of a block or something, right? Where, hey, after testing this, you know what? This does harden after 30 minutes. Margarito would have been put in jail, okay, for attempted murder. That's what would have happened. Just like it happened to Resto and it has happened to other fighters that were caught cheating. They found nothing, and he was allowed to keep fighting after that. All right? That is just a reality. Did Resto go to jail? Yes. Did he ever fight again? No. Okay? So it's not the Resto situation at all. It's not even close, right? As far as the well, actually, I have some more points, but go ahead and give me a rebuttal to anything I said.
Okay. Number one, they did find calcium and sulfur on the blocks that were in his gloves. They found 2 blocks. They had them as evidence. That's when he got suspended. Everyone at the time was complaining that he only got suspended for a year. It was not a temporary pending investigation suspension. It was a full suspension for a year. And he did not fight in New York during that year. He fought in Mexico one time, I believe, during that year. Okay? So they suspended him for a year because he pled ignorance. And Capetillo, his trainer, said to everybody, it wasn't him. He didn't know. It was my mistake. And he basically covered his ass. Bob Arum's a lawyer. Bob Arum wanted him to fight again. And he got him off easy. It didn't happen like Resto. And Resto was a different story because they took padding out of the gloves and put plaster. And he got caught in the ring after he used it. Margarito didn't use those wraps. They made him take it off. So, yeah, had he gotten caught after the fight with Mosley with plaster in his gloves, then he probably would have gone to jail. But he ended up not using it. Therefore, all he got was a year suspension, which I thought was BS in the first place. He should have been suspended for at least 2 years, dude. And it's a fact that they did find sulfur and calcium on those blocks. There are millions of articles on it. You can look it up right now. They found that those 2 substances, and they do harden. So what's your point?
Okay. Of all those articles you're giving me, right?
I didn't give you any, but I said there's a
no,
lot.
No. You said, bro. Like, you know what I mean, Aplo. Let's not play these semantics, please. Just if you know what I mean, just let it go. Okay? But listen to me. All right. Number one, like you're saying a lot of these things with a lot of confidence, and guess what? I used to say the same things. Okay. So if you want to talk about the sulfur, well, you could find that in brown rice. You know what I mean? Like calcium.
Okay, was there brown rice in his
gloves?
Hold on.
You see, I let you talk. You can't tell me I interrupted you.
Dude, you're doubling my time, bro. Like, I talked for 30 seconds.
Did he talk for 30 seconds, bro? Like,
I mean, we'll go uninterrupted, as long as you want.
Wait, you went are you saying you weren't finished? I could let you finish.
Well, I could continue.
I want you to finish. You're not going to interrupt me.
In the middle.
So finish your point.
You're in the middle of what you're saying. Go ahead.
No, do not say, oh, no, but this and but that. No, don't interrupt.
But you said brown rice, dude. They're like, what? There was brown rice in his glove?
No, just let me finish my point, dude.
Let's go uninterrupted.
This way at all, and that's not what I said. Like, stop trying to just
That's why I asked.
Understand. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond, please. Okay. One, there was no block. Like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It was a pad that you could bend. So stop calling it a block. That's factually not true.
That's what they called it.
Lab. It went to the lab, and it was not a block. You keep saying that, but it wasn't a block, dude. Okay.
But that's what it was called by everybody.
Story several times. He changed his story several times. Okay. Multiple times. Why would he change his story? When he had to go to court, he didn't show up to court whatsoever. Okay. Mosley has changed his story over time. He's gone from he definitely did it to I don't know if he did it or not. Okay. That has to tell you a lot, right? At the end of the day. Now, as far as when the final hearing happened, I know of the guys that were actually there. Okay, whether it was Fisher, Montoya, those guys were there. A lot of these other articles and all this that you're pointing out, okay, all the articles that there's out there, guess what? They weren't there, okay, at the end of it. They weren't there at the end result when they found nothing and they found no reason to keep them suspended. That is just the truth. They took the shit to a lab and they didn't find, like, first of all, they weren't blocks. Okay, second of all, they didn't find anything that would harden, like you just said. You said with all this confidence, you said there's a block, the block. Okay, you said with confidence he had something in his padding that when it would get sweaty, it would harden after 30 minutes. There's zero proof of that. Now, that doesn't mean that Margarito, okay, that there was like that they didn't do a procedure that was wrong, okay? And the guy that puts it best is this guy. Gabriel Montoya said the following, okay? So in order for you to believe that they cheated multiple times before, including the Cotto fight, they would have to be smart enough, okay, to get a substance in there, okay, that would harden over time, but at the same time, dumb enough to get an old pad, okay, that was probably used in sparring, all right, that could easily be detected and caught, okay, during the wrapping process, right? So can you at the very least, you know, at least admit that it wasn't hardening? What do you mean you got kicked out?
He dropped, yeah, he got, I think it's his connection again, but okay, he's back. Hold on, let me get him back on.
Well, I don't know what he heard or not, but
I heard everything up to like the last 20 seconds. It sucks because every time someone calls me, like it boots me off the stream.
Oh, okay, now so we'll just say
What
that
was the very last thing you said? I missed probably the last 30 seconds.
what I'm saying is, when you say that I'm spinning false narratives, right? One, they weren't blocks. That's number one, right? And to credit to Ringside Reporter, like sulfur is in everything, right? The only reason anyone suspected that he had something in his wraps that would harden, the only reason is because someone from the commission said plaster-like substance, which later turned out to be bullshit, and they took it to the lab and they tested it, okay? Like if they found, like they were ready to suspend them for longer if they had actually found something, okay? It was pending an investigation. It had to go to the lab. Okay, there was due process involved. Capatillo didn't follow protocol and try to use an old gauze, okay, which is why he was saying it was his fault. It had nothing to do with that. Oh, I was trying to put bricks in his gloves. That wasn't what he was admitting to.
Okay.
Aplo, the floor is yours, brother. Uninterrupted. Go ahead.
Okay. So when I said you were spinning a false narrative, I was talking about you saying that he was fighting in New York during that year. It was not during that year. That is a false narrative. Secondly, I can only go by the information that I have. And the information that I have, that I've seen, says that 2 illegal pads or blocks, whichever one you want to call them, semantics, whatever. I say blocks because
that's not semantics. The one's very
that's what everyone said, blocks. But I think they were knuckle pads that they put in there. Now, why would a trainer with all that experience use some knuckle pads that were used in sparring? I mean, this isn't fishy to you, bro? Like, why would a trainer with that much experience put some used knuckle pads that had some paste on them, like inside the gloves? And no, they didn't. It wasn't obvious that they caught them. 2 guys from the commission were there and missed it. It was only because Nassim Richardson noticed that one of the wraps looked weird that he made them open it up, and they found that pad in there. And as far as I know, what they found on that pad was calcium and sulfur, which do harden. Okay, that's as far as I know. If you have proof somewhere that it wasn't calcium and sulfur, fine. Sulfur is not in everything, bro. I don't know who the hell said that. Sulfur is not in everything. Sulfur is a very specific element. It's used in chemistry. Okay, it's not just something that you find. Yeah, you might find it in brown rice. They also have cyanide in brown rice. Was there cyanide in there too? I mean,
I'm not saying it was brown rice.
Okay, but I thought this was my turn. And then
go ahead.
and then, like I said earlier, one of the hardest things to do in boxing is prove that someone cheated without evidence. Like we could all say, a lot of people say with the Jack Dempsey Willard, and I don't mean to put up a straw man here, but a lot of people say Jack Dempsey had loaded gloves in the Willard fight, but there's no proof of that. So you have to assume that, you know, it didn't happen, or you assume that it did happen. But either way, you're making an assumption. So you're making an assumption just like I'm making an assumption. And if I'm making an assumption, my assumption is that he did cheat against Cotto. Because if that was the biggest fight of his life up to that time, imagine fighting Mosley. Mosley had already lost to Cotto. Okay, so that was already like, that was his big comeback after beating Cotto. What the big news was that he beat Cotto, 2 undefeated welterweights. By the way, Spence and Crawford should take note of that. 2 undefeated welterweights who fought each other in a very classic fight. Now, the reason why I was depressed was because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me that a bigger puncher like Mosley. Okay, Mosley obviously a bigger puncher than Margarito. He knocked him out. So why didn't Cotto's head blow up like that when he fought Mosley? Why didn't Cotto's head blow up like that when he fought against Canelo?
Exactly. Thank you.
Those guys punch way harder than Margarito. Margarito was an accumulation guy. He had short little shots.
You just answered your own question.
Short little shots. No, but dude, he's fought other guys that fought like that, dude. Cotto has fought other guys that fought in that come forward,
Examples,
you know, stalker, you know, type style. Well, he
The
fought
brawler.
Margarito again, and his head didn't blow up.
I want to ask a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
Margarito's face did.
No, I'm still cooking.
Okay,
So-
go ahead.
Hey, but
So the reason,
2 more minutes, bro. We can't go
Cooking
on
with
forever.
salt.
the reason, God, why are you limiting me so much tonight, D-Sal?
I
You seem
think
like you're on my ass. Like, I don't know why. It's a simple conversation. But
I just want to ask a question. That's all. But go ahead. Keep going.
okay. I forgot where I was now. The reason I really truly believe that Margarito did cheat is because look at his trainer is banned for life, bro. They found some illegal stuff in those gloves. Whether you think there were chemicals on there or you don't, they banned that guy for life, and he admitted to messing up. So they were trying to load the gloves with something. Okay? Period. And there's no refuting that. They found illegal pads or blocks or whatever you want to call them in there. Okay? You say there were no chemicals. All right, even if I concede that point, which I don't, I think there were chemicals on them. But even if they had no chemicals on them, they were still illegally trying to load his gloves for the Mosley fight. Now, if he would do that for Mosley, who already lost to Cotto, why would he not do that in the biggest fight of his life? Undefeated, 2 welterweight champions going head to head. Tell me that.
I want to ask a question. Now, you said that now we have the lab picture right here, that this pad right here has been examined at the Department of Justice right here in my hometown, Sacramento, California.
Right.
I know exactly where the building is. So it has been tested. The results came back, and you are right, Haplo. They did find those 2 elements on the wraps. But my question to you is this. How much of that was there? Do you know how much of that was there?
Dude, I wasn't
Look at
there
Cotto's
during
face,
the test, bro. I wasn't there during the
No,
test.
but that's public information, and if you're going to accuse them of cheating, you should know this. How much percentage was there on there?
I should know this. I'm not.
Yes.
I haven't seen such report. But the fact is that they did find those elements.
They exonerated him, right?
They said it was a trace amount, like a pinch. Like, hold on, they said it was like a trace amount, like a pinch of salt.
He was suspended for a year.
So, but my question is this: if it's a pinch of salt, the amount of whatever was on there, do you really think that that's a block, or do you think that Nassim was going a little over the top?
A pinch is a very inaccurate measurement.
That's what the report said.
But you have a rough estimate.
A pinch of ricin can kill you.
Okay, we're not talking rice, though. We're
Let's
talking
just stop
about
the semantics.
calcium.
You know what we mean? What that hardened wrap? Yes or no? Like
Would that make a block? Is that enough to make a block in
I'm
the man's
not a
hand wrap?
chemistry student. I really don't know.
Okay, so
but all
look,
I know is
so you're admitting you don't know.
It doesn't
Right?
matter,
Yes, it does
D-Sal,
matter.
because there was an illegal pad in the hand wrap. They were trying
Okay,
to load his gloves.
Haplo,
Period.
you say it. You say
That's an
that
illegal
it had
pad.
padding
See
that
that
would-
thing on the screen
You
right
said
there?
it would have padding that
That's
would
illegal.
harden. Okay, you said it would harden after
Lord.
30 minutes. What proof do you have? You just said you're not
I
a chemist.
believe-
Come on, bro. Give me
What?
that
I didn't
semantic.
say I have. I didn't say I have proof. What I say is
Okay.
that it just
You
so
don't know if you
happens
cheated
that
then.
about 30 minutes into that Cotto fight, all of a sudden those
wasn't all of a
short punches started breaking Cotto's face up and his body.
Haplo.
Yeah.
Now
What
it just
if
so
I-
happens that it's 30 minutes, and that's how long it takes to harden. I mean, that's
The only reason it
circumstantial
didn't
evidence.
happen in the rematch is Margarito's
It's a
eye was fucked
circumstantial.
up, bro. That's why Margarito wasn't the same fighter anymore. Come on.
No, they also
You know
wore
that.
different gloves. But
His eye was
but
fucked up by round 2, dude.
they-
Okay,
they-
he
they
was
were
one-eyed
also-
man. He was
they also
broken
had
down for
Nassim
Pacquiao fight.
Richardson to
I
watch
thought he
him
was
wrap
coming
his
back.
hands.
Oh my
man.
God! They only
Fight
loaded
two.
his gloves for the first fight, and that was it. There we go.
Bro, well, listen, bro. Like,
I'll
And
ask
that's
you
why
this,
obviously-
Cotto
Haplo.
got his rematch
obviously-
and got his revenge. Fuck Margarito. Okay.
Sulfur is
Okay.
the
Call it a
fifth most
revenge.
common element in the world. That's crazy.
sulfur is the most common element in
Fifth,
the world.
Fifth
number
most
5.
common.
It's a but. It's not in everything, but it's in
I
most.
was about to roast you on that one.
Number
But
5. I
Haplo,
would say that. I'm
Haplo,
agreeing with
I want to ask you another question, brother. Now, we've all seen both fights, right? And, you know,
Mhm.
I've heard you say multiple times here that, you know, his face got busted up. What if I told you after 9 rounds in both fights, because after 9 rounds is when they stopped the second fight because of Margarito's eye. What if I told you that Cotto's face was worse in the rematch than it was by the 9th round in the first fight?
I'd say
Because it was.
you were
the
wrong.
first time.
Well,
I'd
I
say you were wrong.
showed pictures. I got video. I showed pictures of both.
He wasn't
Cotto's
reacting
face.
to shots. He wasn't reacting to the shots.
He was also
the same
fighting
way.
a one-eyed dude, bro.
No,
He
but
was a
hold on,
one-eyed
D-Star,
man.
hold on. But my point is this.
Well, you asked
If
me
the
what I
man's
would
face,
say.
yeah.
He was
if
fighting
the
with
man's-
a Dubois since round 2, dude. It's not
Bro,
the same
I
fighter.
told you what I would say. I would say he was not reacting to the shots in the second fight the way he did in the first fight.
Oh, you were influenced by
Correct.
Lavely, right? Oh, the same hammer-like effects of the punches, all right? Is that what's
his
like? Come
face
on,
was
bro.
worse, man, in the second
You
fight.
did not think
He
something was
sounds
weird with
like-
that fight.
he
Come on,
sounds-
you didn't
you're
think
on
that.
one.
Show me
Remember,
your
I'm your
receipt.
friend, brother. Just relax.
No, we're not. There's no hate. There's no malice here, brother. We just
chill
Come on,
out.
bro,
I'm
people
just
want
having a
this
little
to- come on, let's
conversation.
go.
It's
I
just a
still
little
feel like
conversation.
everyone needs a hug right now. I mean,
I
here's
need
what
a
I-
hug.
here's what I'll say.
I
We all
do
can
need a hug.
we all can agree that there was nothing in his pads in the rematch, right or wrong.
oh my God.
Absolutely, because they had
Okay.
what's his name there? I believe they had Nassim Richardson there
Dude.
watching him.
But his
You
face,
said-
his face was more
You
marked
said
up.
he had something in his wraps that would harden after 30 minutes, and then we went over the actual what they found in the lab. You said, "I'm not a chemist. I don't know." Oh, that little pinch. A
Well,
pinch
I
can
mean,
anything.
a pinch
A
is not
pinch
an
of
accurate
acid will
measurement.
kill you. Like, come on.
A pinch
They
is
said
rice.
trace-
and
No,
trace
no,
sugar.
but anyway, look. If his punches don't have any effect, why did Pacquiao go to the hospital with fucked up ribs after that fight? If his
He
punches
got
don't
hit
have
hard
any
in the
effect.
body. What does that have to do with
Okay,
it?
so he went to the body against Cotto as well, and he was ripping him with beautiful
Yeah,
uppercuts.
but Cotto
said
was
bouncing up
ripping.
and shit.
Look, bro.
Okay, that's
Cotto
for you to
walked through-
say that. Oh, I
Cotto
just don't
walks in
understand.
water.
Bro,
Why are you
Cotto
mustard
walked
Cotto?
through
Mosley didn't hit him that
punches
many times.
that look
He hit him
way
more
hard.
times than Mosley did.
Mosley hits harder than fucking Margarito.
It
We
doesn't
all know that.
matter. That's
It
not
doesn't?
the point. One guy's a volume guy that threw 1,000 punches per fight, dude. You know what I mean? Big punchers wobble
Yeah, I
you,
don't
knock you out. That's what big punchers do. Since when have you seen a big puncher leave a guy all fucked up like that? That's very rare. They usually knock the dude out. When have you seen a Wilder opponent be all like bruised up in the face and all that? He usually just knocks like Ortiz's face didn't look like that when he knocked him out, right?
I mean,
However,
dude,
I
can
could
give you
punch
1,000
other fights, like the
examples of
data
big
shit fight
punchers
where
who
there
left
was
guys look
punishment.
I mean,
messed
Margarito
up.
had his gloves loaded the first time he fought Cotto, so
Hey.
you know, whatever.
I gotta
no
hear
proof.
something.
Go ahead, no
bro.
I'm basically only
Go
here to
ahead.
talk about the great GGG. So I gotta go. All right? Nah, I'm just kidding.
But here's what I'll say.
And
I'll
plus,
say this.
one more thing. And he knocked out Sergio Martinez. Was he cheating for that one too, or what?
Margarito, that is. Margarito knocked out
Margarito knocked out Sergio Martinez.
He might have been. He easily could have been.
And what proof do you have?
I don't have proof.
Okay.
But
so stop saying you got something in his glove that will hold after 30 minutes, bro. That's ridiculous.
You know what I do? You know what I do have proof of though, D-Style? There's a picture on the screen of an illegal block or pad that was in the glove.
And what makes it illegal? What makes it illegal?
Well, why did they make him take it out?
Because
they were wet. Because they were wet, bro. You can't have
illegal.
That's
they were illegal. You're trying to be right. You're not trying to understand.
No, I'm not trying to be right. I am right. That picture that you have.
Can I just repeat
your
something?
Your guys' entire argument.
You came on here. You said that he had something in his wraps that would harden after 30 minutes, and you have no proof of that. That's never been proven.
Calcium.
But that doesn't harden on this wrap after 30
you
minutes.
admitted that they had that on there.
But here's the thing. They had to look, and this is according to the report. They had to look at this thing with a microscope, 6 times strength. A microscope, like they had to really dig in there to find these trace elements.
That's a pretty weak microscope.
And shout out to Raider, that's a good comment, by the way.
They went way in there to look to find these trace elements, but not only that, but look, here's what makes them illegal. Not because they were blocks, like HBO said, or like
forget blocks.
They were illegal. But wait. No. But let me tell you why they're illegal. Because they were moist. That's what makes you can't have wet wraps. I don't care. They don't care if it's water. You can put milk.
Bro,
you can take a piss on them.
Have you ever put on a boxing glove?
Absolutely, I have.
Yes.
If it's dry, in the middle of the fight, as the fight is progressing, your hands sweat inside those gloves.
You're telling me that this pad was going to get hard as a block? Is what you're telling me? You just said you're not a chemist because you can't determine that percentage will make it hard.
You the facts of the case right now, as we know them. Correct me if I'm wrong. There were 2 pads in the right and left hand of Margarito that were discovered by Naseem Richardson that were not legal and that had been used before. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. That's correct.
Am I correct on that? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. So therefore, they were trying to put something illegal in his gloves. So how do you refute that?
Was it something that would harden like a brick after?
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
But they didn't.
Yes or no? Okay, so I've gotten you from that to saying you don't know. Thank you.
Well, that's only because you're telling me and I trust you. You're telling me that you don't think that they would harden. From what I have read and what I've researched.
Where did you read that he had something that would harden after 30 minutes?
Articles, dude. This is like 8 years ago, bro. Like I read articles that said that stuff would harden up after about 30 minutes. That's what I read.
Those are reporters that were not responsible and just were assuming it was.
How do you know that? You're assuming it's a report.
Because
you're assuming that.
No. We spoke to guys that were there. We spoke to guys that went to the court hearing.
What guys? Dougie Fisher?
No. We're gonna have
Raphael.
We're gonna have the guy. We're gonna have the guy on who was there, bro, in a couple of weeks. But
who do you know that was at the hearing, bro? You don't even know the percentage of the particle that was there. Like you got to listen a little more, in my opinion.
Don't either. You said a pinch.
No, but hold on. Okay, but a pinch, bro. It's just they know the amount of the particle, okay, a something percentage part, but they compared it to like a pinch. Okay, come on. You know what a pinch of salt is, bro? Okay, are you going to confuse a pinch of salt with a whole fucking jar of salt? Are you going to confuse
we heard Naseem Richardson say a block fell out, and those are his words. A block fell out.
There was no block. A block didn't fall.
To trace elements.
You guys are stuck on this block thing. You guys are stuck on this block thing.
Did Trinidad cheat in all his fights?
Call it a pad.
Is Trinidad a cheater? Is Felix Trinidad a cheater?
He was discovered twisting tape, which in some places
is illegal. So just like this was illegal, right? Same thing.
No,
is he a cheater?
No, which is
not?
legal in some jurisdictions and illegal in others.
No, but
In New York.
this was illegal where he did it. Is it illegal? Yes, or is he a cheater?
It was illegal when
Did they try
discovered
something
it, but they
illegal?
caught
Yes
it.
or no?
They caught it.
Okay, but is he a cheater? Did he cheat on his fights? Should we question,
It
all his
depends.
knockouts?
It depends if that particular technique was legal or illegal in the jurisdiction that he was fighting in.
Let me tell you something, bro. If I want to make cement, right? This is common sense, right? And I have a whole carrucha. You know what a carrucha is, right? Okay.
I don't
Full
know,
of
but I'm
dirt.
eating tacos right now. I'm
Okay.
having Mexican
If
food
you
tonight
put a whole
for
carrucha
dinner.
full of dirt, right? And just
I'm
a
having
little
Mexican
bit of
food
water.
tonight.
Oh no, whoa.
Eating
I
Mexican.
don't. I just get.
I'm
I
eating
just get my hand like
D-styles
this.
and,
I go like
beef
this
Buc-ee's.
with my fingers, like this, a pinch, right? And I throw the cement in there, right? And then I wet it. Is it going to create cement or a bunch of mud? Use your common
No.
sense for a second.
When it dries, it'll be
I have
hard.
no idea what you're talking about, dude.
If you
We're
throw
saying-
a little
no.
bit of cement on a carrucha full of dirt, and then
On the
you wet it,
karucha!
okay, is it gonna be okay? If you get a bucket, guys, okay, if you got a bucket, okay, and you put dirt on it, and then you get a pinch of cement, a pinch. And by the way, not even cement, by the way, just particles that could be found in cement, not even cement, right? And you throw it in there, and then you wet it. Is it gonna create like a big block of cement?
Brother, like, that's not the point.
No,
It
you
doesn't
said
matter.
that he had something that would harden after 30 minutes. You said that.
That's what I
Man,
believe.
he's making me hungry.
That is what I believe.
I mean,
You're a
look,
good
that's
taco,
look.
by the way.
If you want to believe that, look, that's your opinion, bro, and we respect your opinion. All we're doing is presenting the evidence, and the evidence says that
the
there was not
evidence
enough there,
also
man.
says-
There's not
okay,
enough
the
there
evidence
for a
also
block.
the evidence also says that there were 2 illegal pads
Yes,
in the
yes.
gloves of Margarito.
And we're not
Yes.
denying that. We're not denying
Okay.
that. But what makes
So
them
he was
illegal?
loading his gloves.
No,
that's
see,
not
that's
what
where you're
that means.
wrong.
Body
bro.
bag.
No, look.
That's where you're
That's
wrong,
a body
bro.
bag.
No,
That is a
that's-
body
That's
bag.
That is where
not a
you're
body
wrong.
bag
That
at
is
all.
where you're
body
wrong.
You
bag.
haven't proven anything.
That's where you're
Prove
wrong,
it.
Haplo.
What do I have to prove? You have the picture of it right up on your screen
No,
right now.
And
trace
they did
them
not.
out, bro.
Okay, Haplo, you body yourself.
Why is it there in the first place?
Yeah,
You're saying
why was
trace
it
them
there in
out.
the first
Why
place?
Is it there? Why is it
Does
there
it
in the
harden
first
after
place?
30 minutes? Is my question. It's going to make a block. And
It
why
doesn't
did-
matter if it
Why
hardens
was
or
it
not,
there?
D-style.
Why
It's an
didn't he change the
illegal.
story?
It's an
Why did he
illegal
change the
wrap.
story
If
multiple
we
times?
caught
Oh,
somebody tomorrow
from
He
a
changed
block
his story
trying to put
multiple
something
times, brother.
illegal in
I
their
gotta keep it honest
gloves,
with you. He changed his story multiple times, bro. He didn't show up to court when it was
it
time to
doesn't
go to court.
matter. There's
He never
evidence
showed
on
up.
the screen right now. That piece of
Is that a
whatever
block?
that is
Haplo,
illegal.
is that a block?
Okay.
Yes or no?
I
He's
didn't
Is that
gone
a
say
block?
it's a
from.
block.
Hold on.
Someone else
We
said
have
that.
made. I want to make
But
an
you
announcement.
said blocks
We have
earlier,
made-
bro. You said
I
blocks
just
earlier.
used the
People-
term that everyone was using.
Boys.
Okay, so then
I
you don't
just
say
used
there's a
the
block.
term that everyone was
Let me make an
using.
announcement. Let me make an announcement.
Why was it in there in the first
Two
place?
illegal things in the
Haplo
gloves.
has gone from I know he did it for a fact. He had
No,
something.
I
and
never
it was
said that.
hard after 30 minutes in the
Rewind
fight.
it, D-style. Rewind
He
it,
went from
D-style.
that to
Rewind
I know
it
he
then.
did it. I believe he did it. So
Rewind
we
it.
made some
The
progress.
first thing I said is it's very hard to prove that someone ever cheated in boxing. That is the first thing I said.
Yes, he sure did.
Okay, so don't tell me I know for a fact. You're putting words in my mouth, bro.
No,
And I
you
don't
keep
appreciate
on,
it.
And you said that he had something that would harden after, and that you saw articles.
Calcium and sulfur
I read
harden
articles
after 30
that's what you
minutes.
said.
That's what I said.
You sounded like IOTBA. I was scrolling down my articles.
IOTBA?
You say you were
Oh,
scrolling
man.
down your articles.
Come
and
on.
You saw articles.
You don't have to insult me now.
I saw articles about, you know.
If I was
that they would
IOTBA,
harden.
my internet wouldn't be working right now.
Well, here's the thing. This wrap here, you can see it's a used wrap. So if it was something that would get hard,
That's
in
not
30
a
minutes,
wrap,
like
dude. That is
it's a knuckle pad. Knuckle pad. Okay,
Yeah,
knuckle pad.
There you go.
Okay, they said that this knuckle pad was a block. That's what Nassim Richardson said.
He
That's what
described it as a
HBO
block.
said.
That's
Yes.
his word.
So, but wait, let me finish.
Not
Okay, let me
yours,
finish
yeah, right.
though. Let me finish. He said it was a block. So we went from a block, from him saying that, reporters saying that, HBO saying that in the 24/7 buildup, to trace amounts. I mean, what happened to the block? Did he lie about that? What do you? What happened to that?
You don't think
Bro.
Haplo, like Haplo, do you
He
remember
called
how
it
many
a block.
times?
That's
Haplo, let me
his
ask you a question. Let me
vernacular.
ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? I'm gonna let you.
You might call something an anchor, and I might call it a big piece
Okay,
of metal that falls in the water.
tomato. That's what this is. Tomato.
Yeah.
Okay,
Block,
that's what it
pad.
is.
No
I don't
tomato.
really care.
Let me tell you something. I wouldn't confuse that with a block. I don't know about you. That doesn't look like a block to me at all, actually. Okay,
Well,
like I would not
it could
confuse that
be.
with a block at all.
Not even
But
close.
let me say this. Let me say this though.
Have
okay?
you felt it?
People said they felt it. It's
People have said
flexible.
they felt it.
Oh,
There's
people
a
have
lot
said
of
that's
reporters that
hearsay.
you were mocking right now.
No, bro, that's true, bro. People were there.
That's hearsay.
No,
That's
people
not
were
hearsay.
there,
There
bro.
were people there, bro. Like, hey,
That's hearsay.
please don't go there because
Haplo,
you're arguing with
the
facts.
lab had sworn testimony that it was not a block. It was flexible.
Bro.
Yeah, like you gotta accept that.
I
Bro.
already said pad like 3 hours ago.
Haplo. Let me
It's
ask you a question.
illegal. It's illegal. It's an
Can I ask you a
illegal
question?
pad.
Can I ask you a
Forget
question?
about block. You
What
guys
makes
are
it-
stuck on
okay.
this block point. because
Okay,
you
so let
think
me ask you this then.
that
What makes
calling
it illegal
a
then?
block, you think that calling it a block is what makes it not cheating. They took it
Okay.
out.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
They found
Haplo.
illegal
But-
shit in his gloves. He was
hold
wearing
on.
his gloves.
Hey,
You guys are
hold
bodied.
up,
It's over.
Hold up.
It's
If
not
it doesn't
close to
harden,
over.
is it cheating? If it doesn't harden, is it cheating? Yes, right? 'Cause
Yes,
technically- okay.
it's cheating.
Now,
because
if it doesn't
wasn't
harden, does it
supposed to
help
be
him in the
there.
fight? Does it help him in the fight if it doesn't
Doesn't
harden?
matter. It
No,
doesn't matter.
no. That's not what I asked.
illegal.
Answer the
That's
question.
not
Does it
what
help
was
him if it
said,
doesn't
bro.
harden?
Doesn't matter. It's illegal.
No,
I
come
think
on,
it
bro.
did.
Answer the question.
I
It's
think
very
it did.
relevant. No, it's a very relevant question.
I
Just
think
answer
it
it,
did
dude.
harden
Does it help
in the
him if it
Cotto
doesn't
fight.
harden?
It didn't though, bro.
I think it did.
No. Okay, Haplo, that's not what I'm asking you. If it does not harden, does it help him in the fight?
It's illegal. You can't put
No,
that in a
no.
glove.
Stop that, bro. Why can't you just answer the question? If I'm not even asking you to concede anything. I'm just asking you if it doesn't harden, okay, does it help him in the fight? Like, just answer that
I don't
question.
know. I've never used a pad like that, so I wouldn't
Okay, so
know.
you don't know. Like you keep saying you're saying I don't know
I'm
a lot.
willing to
For a guy
admit
that-
I don't know, but you don't know either. That's the problem.
You came in really confident, okay, and then now you're saying I don't know. Okay, my point is you don't want to answer a simple
I didn't
question.
come in
okay?
really confident. I came in really nice, but I've been, I knew
but-
I was
no,
coming in a hostile ground.
This is spirited talk.
No,
you know what I mean?
There's no hostile. There's no
You know
hostility
what I mean?
here.
Like,
I knew I was coming in a
you're
hostile
in the den
ground,
right now.
but
This
the
is
D-style-
uncensored. You can yell at me and shit. You call me a piece
D-style-
of shit if you want. It's all good.
D-Style's
Like,
trying to
I'm a
win
piece
a
of shit.
debate
It's all good. But listen to
and
me.
show what a good debater he is, but he's losing because there were two
Haplo,
illegal.
that the guy
there were
that
two
claims he's
illegal
winning is usually the one that's
pads.
losing. That's a bad sign. You're
There
above
were
that.
two
Don't do that.
illegal. There were
Don't
two illegal
don't do
pads.
the I'm
You're
winning.
losing.
Like stop it. Stop.
I am
stop.
winning.
No,
There
no,
were two
no, you're
illegal-
not, bro.
there
You're
were
gonna have
two
to listen to
illegal
this
pads
because I'm
in
trying
the
to get
gloves.
the
The guy got
discussion going.
suspended.
Listen to me. Listen
Whether
to
or
me.
not there
Okay?
were chemicals, if it was a
Listen
pinch,
to me.
a big
Haplo-
pinch, a small
Haplotype.
pinch, a little
Haplotype. Haplotype. Stop
pinch.
filibustering.
How
Listen to
big
me.
is the pinch?
Haplotype. Haplotype. Stop, dude. You're trying too hard to like make your points, but enough's enough. Listen to me, okay?
You're
like
the
we're
one
reading the same
yelling,
thing over and
bro.
over again. It doesn't do anything. Stop, dude. Look, listen to me. All right.
You're the one yelling, though.
First of all, well, I'm yelling because you won't shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Neither
Oh,
will you.
easy now.
All right?
Easy, guys.
Let's
No,
just
bro, you've
be
been
quiet.
hostile
Mute
since I
your
came
mic.
on. You be
Right?
quiet. How
Mute your
about
mic.
that?
Listen to me. Because you're interrupting a lot. That's why.
Okay, whatever.
This wouldn't happen. You wouldn't interrupt.
The
Listen to me.
problem is you're losing and you're really getting.
No. Nobody's
emotional.
losing. First of all, it's weak as fuck to be claiming victory on a fucking debate, dude. Like stop that. Ain't
You
nobody
can't.
think you're winning.
You can't
That's number one.
deny
No,
the fact
hold
that
up.
there were
Shut the fuck
illegal
up and listen
things
to me.
in the gloves.
Okay?
Was there
I need
something
you to listen.
illegal in the gloves or not?
Can you shut
Answer
up, dude?
that.
No,
God
there
damn.
wasn't.
Answer
No,
that.
there wasn't.
Was there
Yo,
something
No.
illegal in the
yo,
gloves?
I'm one of the
No.
hosts, and I will call for you to be muted if you don't shut up.
No.
I
There
don't
is
want you
no.
to be muted, but just please stop. Okay?
Come on, dude.
Listen, okay, can you just shut up, dude, for a second?
Haplo, let me ask you something, man. Okay, we had two guys on the opposite side of Margarito. Nassim Richardson
Say what
and
you
Shane
gotta say. I'm
Mosley.
enjoying my tacos.
And Shane
No,
Mosley,
I ain't gonna
right?
talk like Haplo no more, bro. He ain't letting
Hold
me
on.
talk. It's all good.
Hold on, let me ask you
Okay,
a question. We had
I thought he's above like that, just filibustering and shit. but he
Bro,
wasn't
I'm
filibustering,
saying,
so whatever.
talk. I'm
Okay?
enjoying my tacos. I'm going on mute. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this then. Mosley and Nassim Richardson both saw the pads, right? They said they felt them.
Go ahead, man.
Nassim said that there was a block. We had one guy saying it was a block, and the other guy in the corner said, Shane Mosley said it was plaster of
You're not
Paris.
going to talk?
So we
You
went
guys
from
still hear
plaster of
me?
Paris and a block. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Chief fuck is talking.
Can you hear me,
I
bro?
can't hear him. I can't hear him. Sorry. I can't hear him. I'll jump out and jump back in.
Okay, cool. But, I mean, my thing is this, man. I want to know what happened to this block and this plaster of Paris that these guys
There's
claim.
no block.
And the same guys that made the claim didn't show up to court for some reason. Like that's I don't understand why that's not funny to people. That doesn't seem suspect to people that these guys that made the claims didn't show up. And that they didn't, again, there was trace amounts of this stuff. There was no block. No block found.
There was no block. He came in and he called them blocks. Then he went into all this like, oh, it would harden after 30 minutes. And if you know how it works, that substance will harden after this and that. He didn't know about the traces amount. Okay, he didn't know any of that. I'm trying to give him this information.
You there, bro?
All right, but at the end of the day,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
you
back.
gotta take that. You gotta admit you didn't know this stuff, okay, and take in that information. Okay, like you can't be stuck on this whole like.
What
well,
didn't
I don't
I know?
But a
Wait,
pinch.
wait.
I mean, what is a
I
pinch?
missed
I
the
don't know
part.
what a pinch is. I mean, a pinch could be anything.
I
mean,
missed
come
the
on.
part. I missed the parts about what I didn't know.
We're saying that you didn't know the amount of calcium and sulfur that was on the
I
rack.
mean, you guys don't know either. A pinch is not an.
No, we
accurate
do
measurement.
know,
Oh,
bro,
for the
because
love
the
of
report,
fucking God, bro, we're giving you information you don't know. And you just want to be insulting.
there's a report
It's
out there,
not.
bro. You can find it. It says
And you
trace
wonder why I'm
amount.
raising my voice because you're being insulting right now. Okay,
It's a
we've
trace
actually
amount.
looked up this information that you did not know. Just admit you didn't know it, dude. It's not that hard.
Bro, I may not know certain things that you know, but what I do
Okay.
know is that there was, I may not, and I may know, but I may not also. That's a possibility. But what I do know is that there were 2 illegal pads in those gloves, and that he was trying to load his gloves.
Okay, here's what I'll say to that. There's a lab report. It's very, very public. The lab report said trace amount. Now, if you want to interpret that as blocks, you can go ahead. But I went from
I've already
believing it was blocks
already conceded the
to
blocks
being-
thing.
Okay, that's fine.
That
That's
was
good.
just
So
a
then,
term that
so
they
then
were
what's the
throwing
point?
around.
So then what's the point of saying loading his
No,
gloves?
because then
with blocks?
this is what you're doing, Aplo. We try to give you like an example so you have an idea of how much there was, and we say pinch, and then you make it into something that you don't need to make it. Like, well, what's a pinch? A pinch could be anything. I mean,
Can
a
I
pinch,
ask you guys
know.
something?
I mean, come
Sure,
on.
go ahead.
Sure.
Why was it in there in the first? Why was it there in the first place?
There you go.
Because it could have been
According-
from any element that it could have came from anywhere.
They were
No,
old.
she's not. She's not
But if they
talking
called
about,
it-
she's not talking about the pinch, bro. She's talking about the illegal pad.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Here's-
talk about the legal pad. Can I just say something about that really quick? You have like here's the correlation you need to connect. Okay, and the reason I was asking you if it would really help him in the fight. Okay, and why it's relevant, right? So if, of course, I was trying to ask you a simple question, right? So I'm going to ask you right now. Do you know how many times Capatillo attempted the wrapping of the gloves? Do you know?
I think 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
So
That's
stop right there. Stop right there. Why do you think it took 3 times to wrap the gloves? I mean, the hands.
Well, the first 2, he probably messed up on something. And then the third one, they made him undo it and take out the illegal pad.
So you think that, like, Nassim Richardson he was the one that had objections, right? And they kept having him restart.
He was the one who noticed something.
No, hold on.
weird.
But he was there the whole time. It's like, let me just make this clear. It's not like they finished wrapping it and then Nassim just strolled in and it was like, yo, what's that? That's not what happened. You should
Beeb.
know that the trainer's there the whole time.
Hey,
Right.
D-Stop,
Right.
you email Beeb the link.
Okay.
He said he wants to jump on real quick.
Okay, I'll send the link. But no, because I'm talking. I can't be doing that while I talk. Let me just
Sorry,
make this
yeah.
quick point,
I don't have
okay?
his email.
I don't want to be ganged up on.
No. This is not a. This is.
You're
Hold on.
not.
Let me just make something
This.
clear.
I promise you, if you don't interrupt me, like everything's good.
We're not here to beat. We're not here to
Dude, I'm
jump
not
on you.
You're
interrupting
not getting
you.
up,
Relax, dude.
Boxer Girl's
I'm
on
not
your side right
interrupting
now.
you.
She's backing you up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay,
This is
so
just
what
a
do you
discussion.
mean?
that.
Because what I'm doing right now. What do
question
you mean?
is,
No,
But
but
why
no,
was there a
seriously.
I came on here to have a discussion.
Okay,
like,
okay,
I don't
then
wanna
let's
be
have a discussion. Okay,
I'm
No,
not hostile
no.
with you guys.
No,
tell you what,
I'm down with HCP.
I don't know if you know you do this or
Haplo.
not, but like,
Stop. Give me a second, bro. Haplo, bro. We're not trying to attack you, bro. I understand. Look, we understand
It's
this.
just the way
Wait.
T-Style's talking
me-
to me.
okay,
like,
okay, but
this
let
is
me finish.
unusual.
But let me finish.
you're a grown ass man, bro. Come on, stop crying.
I know I'm a grown ass man. I could take it, but I don't
wait.
want us to have that
Bro,
kind of conversation.
Bro, I know. Let me
Don't be condescending, like, oh, what do you guys mean by a pinch? That could mean anything. That's why you're like, come on, dude, like you're being a
pinch
little.
is not an accurate measurement.
Oh, come
Is
on,
it-
bro, stop that.
It's not
You
an
know what
accurate
we mean,
measurement.
dude. I mean, you know, like, what do you mean?
Are you saying that a pinch is an accurate measurement of something?
I'm giving you an idea, dude. An idea of how much
It
was
wasn't
in
even
there.
you that said it, bro. It was
The reports said
defunky.
that. The reports said that. That's what the reports said. After they were taken to the lab and tested, trace amounts. And one of the commissioners said it was like a pinch of salt. That's what was said.
But
So
that is
that's
not an
the
accurate
Bro,
measurement.
a pinch.
A trace
Like-
amount.
but that's
You
what
don't
the
have an
commissioner
idea
said.
what
He
that
just said a
means. Like,
pinch, but there's
if-
trace amounts. Why was there trace amounts at all?
So if your grandma tells you, right, if your grandma tells you, hey, the recipe, mijo, in the end, all you got to do is add that little extra pinch of salt. Like, you're not going to know
Bro,
what
my
to do.
grandma
You're going to
just
pour the whole
died,
fucking
so,
jar of fucking salt in
like-
there or what? Come on, you know what we mean, dude. Like, stop that. Like, it's not helping the conversation by holding it up.
My
by
grandma
trying
just
to debate
died,
what a
so I
pinch
don't want
is.
to talk about my
Stop
grandma.
debating the pinch. Like, we're not going to get anywhere if you can't
I
just
don't
like,
want to talk
let
about
go.
my grandma. I know that.
We're not asking you about your
Dude,
I don't
you
wanna be
know for a
disrespectful.
fact, I
We're not
was
asking you about
giving
that.
an example that, like, first of all, I said my grandma, okay? Like, what are you talking about? I said,
Oh.
like, if you call your grandmother and she gives you the secret recipe and put a pinch of salt, that's all I said, okay?
Hey,
Like,
B,
I'm not
check
attacking
your email,
your
bro.
grandma.
Check your email, B. I just sent it to
It
you.
could be more. It could be less. It depends how big of a pinch it is. I mean,
Okay, are you gonna pour the whole?
but
fucking,
that's not my point. You're trying to
The
make it
whole cup?
about. This is what you guys are doing. Can I talk for a second?
Sure,
What
go
you
ahead.
guys are
You've
doing.
been talking.
is-
You've been talking, bro. Go
What
ahead.
you guys? I have not been talking.
You
You've
have been talking. Stop,
Oh,
bro.
God.
Stop crying. Just
Lord
stop.
D-style, what happened to you tonight, bro?
Just talk, dude. Like, go ahead.
You know I respect you.
Well, if you respect
Um,
me, like, don't say things like a pinch.
Well,
What
we're
do you
having
mean?
a
Come on.
discussion. I didn't call you a bitch.
No, he said a pinch. A pinch.
When did I call you? Dude, you're hearing things,
I
bro.
thought I heard
A
you
pinch
say
sounds
that.
like a
Hey,
bitch.
okay.
It does
Bro,
sound
some
like it.
cojones, bro. Come on, just talk. Like, stop. Don't worry
I'm
about
trying
it.
to be calm, cool, and collected. And all I'm saying is this. It doesn't matter if you call it a block or don't call it a block. It was a pad that was illegal in the gloves. They were trying to load the gloves. That is a fact. The guy got suspended. Capetillo suspended for life. Those are facts. Okay?
Dapatio got his license back 6 years later.
You're saying that it was a pinch or whatever.
The
And
commissioner
maybe
said.
maybe that's true. Maybe it was a pinch. I don't know
It
what
was.
the fuck a pinch is. Why didn't they say how many milliliters or
Right.
Yeah, why didn't they say exactly
It's
what
in
it
the
was?
report, bro. It's in the report,
But
though.
as a pinch.
They said trace
Trace
amount. You need a
amounts.
microscope to
I don't
see
know.
it.
You know what? I'm gonna do some research and find out exactly how much it takes of calcium
there.
and sulfur to
Yeah,
harden.
it's the evidence is there, man. The reports are there.
But
I think-
it doesn't
I think
matter
Beeb has
if it
reports.
hardened or not. They put something illegal in the gloves.
It
period.
does matter because
So
if
you
it doesn't
lose.
harden, that's not why he beat Cotto. If it
It
doesn't,
doesn't matter.
Okay?
It doesn't matter. What are you talking about? We're talking about whether he cheated or not, and it's clear that he did.
If it doesn't harden, that disproves your whole
If
theory
it doesn't
that
harden, then
Cotto
he
all
didn't
of a
cheat.
sudden got hurt. Come on.
If it doesn't harden, then he didn't cheat. An extra pad in your
That's not what I
glove
said.
could
Listen,
help you
listen,
hit
Coachy,
harder.
I'm going to say
even if
one
it
more
doesn't
thing.
harden.
It can
Again,
it could definitely
Pablo,
change
let-
the
let me
Wait,
just-
wait, did you
bro.
hear the last point I made? If
Listen
there's
to
an
what I
extra
say.
padding on your knuckle,
Listen, stop being
you can
stubborn.
hit
You're listening.
harder.
Look, dude, you
Even
made
if
your
it's
point. Let me
Harden.
make my point. This is the way a discussion works. You say something, I get to say something back. But listen to me.
I just want to make
The
sure.
reason I
heard
keep
me.
interrupting is not because I want to be hostile. Because I want to make sure people hear what I say. Just give me a moment, dude. Just hold on.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Just listen to me. Okay,
Bro, I've been understanding the whole time.
Okay. Then
Okay,
please stop.
let's just-
Can you stop saying that over and over again? Just let me just say what I'm going to say. Look.
Listen, I'm 50 years old. I'm going to smack all of you.
Yeah. Look. Okay. At the end of the day, it does matter if it hardens or not, because that's the heat of the issue. That's how people say he was cheating. Okay.
No, that
So
is not
no.
why.
Yes,
You
it
did
is.
it again, dude. You keep doing it.
Load
Stop.
his gloves. He
Can you
loaded
stop?
his gloves.
Can you
He
stop
did not load his
interrupting me? You're
gloves,
doing it
bro.
again, bro. Just stop. And you keep wondering why I'm getting pissed off. Stop interrupting me. Listen. Just shut up and listen to me. Like, how many times do I got to tell you? Just listen.
How long do I have to listen to you say the same thing over and over again?
Well, you're repeating yourself a lot, but I haven't said the point I'm about to make. Can you chill out for a second?
Sure.
Like, you're gonna listen. God damn, dude. You keep wondering why I'm getting pissed off. Listen. Look, at the end of the day, god damn. If it does matter if it hardens, because if it did not harden, then that disproves everything you said at the beginning, that after 30 minutes it will harden. And then when I saw the Cotto fight, all of a sudden, he was hurting him and all this other stuff, and he just had to have something in his wraps. You would have to prove that he had something that would harden for that theory to be correct, okay? Which you have zero evidence for. Now, if you want to respond, you could respond. All you have to do is let me talk, and I would have been done 5 minutes ago.
All right, you're done, right?
I already said I'm done. Stop that.
Okay.
Talk. Go.
All right, dude. Stop being fucking hostile, dude. You're not talking to a bitch here.
Go. Let's go.
First of all, what I said when I first came on is that it's very hard to prove whether or not someone cheated after the fact if you don't have evidence. Okay? I conceded the fact that you and G Funky may have more information about the actual substances found on the glove, but it turns out the exact substances I said were on those things. And you said a pinch. I don't know what a pinch is. That's not an accurate measurement. I don't give a hell what you say my grandma would say is a pinch or not a pinch. I can make a big pinch, a little pinch. It doesn't matter. It's like a totally inaccurate measurement.
Let's ask
Hold
the
on.
people.
I thought it was my turn.
Go ahead.
It could be anything, but the facts are the facts. And the fact is that there was something illegal in his gloves that they caught. It was a pad. Whether there was chemicals on it or no chemicals, those pads that were in his glove were illegal. So they got caught trying to cheat, no matter what you say, whether they harden or not. And yeah, I think, now that I think about it, if I put an extra pad in my glove, I could probably hit a little bit harder, whether it hardens up or not. So what do you got to say to that?
Easy work, baby.
You have to prove that it would hit a little harder. You would have to prove that
I know from hitting
you would have
people.
to prove that he was stupid enough to do that in this fight, but smart enough to sneak it in all the other fights. Okay, that's number one. Second, okay, to that, okay, let me just say this, all right? You still, now you've changed the whole thing. Now you've gone from chemicals to harden to the extra pad, when other people have actually said that they don't understand how an extra pad like that.
You guys said what
would help them.
evidence is proof?
Whoa, buddy. Like, here you go. Like, you know what I mean? It's my turn. Like, let me say something. I'm about to finish. Okay? Like, cause what you're doing is filibustering. Like, that's not cool. But listen really quickly, okay?
You guys did the exact same thing.
You would have to.
No,
my God, bro. Can you just stop with the finger pointing? Just listen, dude. Just listen. That's all you got to do. And then as soon as I say go, then you go. Like, stop it. Just listen to me, right? You could make an argument that the extra padding doesn't deliver a more devastating blow, just protects the hands more, okay? Like that. This idea that, Gary Shaw, who used to work for the commission in New Jersey, question whether it would even help him land a more powerful blow at all. Okay. And by the way, Bert Sugar, who I respect a lot, used to laugh at this whole thing. Okay. That's what he did. Like, he didn't take this serious at all. He would talk to Doug Fisher all the time, according to Doug Fisher. Okay. And he didn't take this shit serious whatsoever. And I think Bert Sugar knows a lot about boxing. Okay. That's number one. But you can go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Loud and clear.
Oh, okay, cool. What I'm saying is this. What we're arguing is, did the guy do something illegal? Obviously, he did. So my theory is that he used the same thing against Cotto, and that it did harden, and it did break his face. I have no proof of that whatsoever. Okay? That's my theory based on what I saw in that fight. I'm not trying to argue conjecture, but you guys lose the debate based upon the fact that there
Stop
were
claiming
illegal.
victory. Stop
There
that.
were
That's lame as
illegal.
fuck.
I mean,
Stop.
it's just
It's
true,
lame
man.
as fuck. I'm just gonna call you out on it.
It might be.
Let me
it might
read
be,
something
It might
to
be
you guys.
lame. It might be lame to you, but
It's lame.
there's something illegal in the gloves that got
Yes.
taken out, and
Okay.
he got suspended for a year.
Okay, let's
Listen to me.
Period.
switch gears
Okay,
a
you
little
changed
bit.
your whole story, by the way. You're
But
talking something completely different now.
let's let the new guests come on and say something.
Sure.
Beeb, you were here first, and
My
we'll go to
bad.
Boxer. What do you got, Beeb? Go ahead.
Like I did last time when I was talking about this whole incident, I'm just going to read the court the court report.
That's exactly, yeah, that's what I was going to do.
And
That's what I looked up.
and you
It's
could
very
say
public, too.
you can say what's legal and what's not legal, and that's fine because haplotype is 150% correct. The commission deemed that those pads were illegal, but what the commission could not prove was that those pads would harden. No one was able to prove that. And when you say trace amounts of something, obviously they were small enough that a microscope had to be brought in to see the amount of the element. Now, you can suspect that you believe that those pads possibly would have hardened because that's what Richardson did. But the problem is he was temporarily suspended due to an investigation, and the commission did revoke his license, but then it said the action taken because of a recent participation in what appeared to be a violation of the rule 323, which limits the use of gauze and tape on the athlete's hand that requires both contestants to be represented while the gauze and tape are applied. So rule 323 was the actual rule that he violated, and there was too much gauze and too much tape, and the pads were actually too big. That's why they were confiscated, because they looked bigger than normal. Now,
And they were used already.
Whoa. Let him burn. Let him burn.
and they were used already, which was
We're not
100
denying that, Haplo.
But
We're not denying
the actual rule that he violated was 323, and what rule 323 says, it limits the use of gauze and tape on the athlete's hand, which is what Mikkel Kessler was putting tape on top of tape until Virgil Hunter caught him and said, you can't do that. That's called stacking. Now, I guess the problem here is we're dealing in semantics because everyone's talking about what's legal and what's not legal, what's legal and what's illegal. You're 150% correct. The pads were illegal, but what you're incorrect about is why they were illegal. You're saying they were illegal for the wrong reason, because it could not and has not been proven that gauze would harden in 30 minutes. Like you said, that's the only argument, because it can't be proven that gauze could have hardened. It was
I never
illegal,
said I could prove that it could harden.
but you suspect that it could have, correct?
I
You
suspect
believe
that
that's
it
why
did.
he beat Cotto, right?
I suspect that it did.
That's his theory. He says his theory. Yeah.
And if you want to use that word suspect, then that's fine. But the only problem I have with that is, like, what basis do you have to suspect that gauze would harden when it couldn't be proven under a microscope? And it had and a lab actually looked
Who
at
said
it.
it couldn't be proven?
Wait,
under a
guys.
microscope?
I have it right here.
I have
I have
something
it-
I
else.
said it
I-
couldn't be proven under a
It-
microscope.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
I think what
yes.
they said was they found trace amounts under a microscope.
Trace amounts of
Trace
sulfur.
amounts.
Yeah.
Trace amounts of sulfur and calcium.
Yeah.
But
So
but there wasn't enough of those elements in the wrap. You could open up anyone's wrap and quite possibly find trace amounts of those substances in their gloves.
Especially
It's just-
old ones.
I seriously doubt that.
I
don't think so.
seriously do not doubt that.
I
ser-
seriously doubt that.
But
Why
but-
would there be calcium and sulfur in someone's glove?
Because they're both abundant in everything. Sulfur is in a
Not
lot
really.
of things.
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
sulfur's an abundant
but-
element in the atmosphere, but it's
Okay,
not in
so-
boxing
so how-
gloves.
So how do you know that didn't get into the glove?
Come on, Beeb.
It's
Are you
basic common.
serious?
I'm 100%. I'm 100% serious.
All right.
If there was so much of it in there, then why
It
did
just
a
so
mic?
happened that there
Can
was
I just
calcium.
read you
and
guys a
sulfur.
Why not?
paragraph, maybe?
Why
Yes.
not?
Go
Why
ahead,
not?
Boxer Girl. Read your
Okay.
read your paragraph. Go
A
ahead.
California Department of Justice senior criminalist who inspected the wraps under a stereo microscope and with an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer determined that the wraps contained sulfur and calcium. According to a document obtained by the Times, these two elements, with the addition of oxygen, make plaster of Paris.
There you go.
We understand that.
Okay, but you have to. But the question lies. This is where the question lies. Was there enough of it to create a hard substance?
Not
which-
Even if it hardens a little bit, Beeb, that's still cheating.
But-
And first
but-
of all, the pads shouldn't have been there in the first place. So
you can
that's
argue.
cheating.
You can argue the pads. You can argue
Yes.
the pads haplotype. But here's what you can't really argue. If there's such a minuscule amount in there that you have to look at a microscope and magnify it six
How
times.
else
Well, you
are they
have
gonna
to
see it?
to
How
see
else are they going to
chemicals.
see it if they don't use a microscope?
That's
I
the
mean, that
point,
makes
though.
no
That's
sense.
That's
no,
the
that's
point.
the point you're
The point-
missing, bro.
What, you
point
think
that-
they just put it in there like
They
so
have to-
much
they
that
have
like, it
the
just
point
fell
that-
out?
The point that you're missing is for them to just put that minuscule amount in there. And
Maybe
if
they
you-
were sucky at what
Let
they
me-
were
can I-
doing,
let
and
me-
they
let-
didn't know
let-
how much to put.
First of all, Capetillo is not a chemist. He's not a chemist. Okay, so
What I'm saying is they put it in there whether
there
or
wasn't
not
enough.
it was
There wasn't enough. There
They
wasn't
were
enough. in there.
trying to cheat.
No, that's not
It
true.
was. Well, again, you can argue that they were putting in. They were using
I
the
guess
wrong.
Trinidad is a cheater too, because he tried to cheat
The
too.
point that you can argue unequivocally, and I will concede this point to you 7 days a week and twice on Sundays, is the pads were illegal.
Yes.
There you go.
What
Yeah.
But what
That's
you
all I'm
can't,
saying.
and I will back you and support you 110% on that. But the point that you can't prove, and no one can prove, is because the word was used, can. So the amount that was in there with the sulfur and the calcium was so minuscule that it's hard for me, and I think any logical person, to think that minuscule amount would be enough to create and cause plaster.
But that's
attack.
your opinion. That's your
That's
opinion.
not an opinion.
But-
That's a fact, bro.
But it's
The
actual.
fact
But
is-
That's
it's
not a
actual.
fact.
Those
But
two
it's actual-
chemicals.
Those
But
two
it's actual-
things harden with
Oh my
oxygen.
goodness
Let
gracious.
me finish this point.
Whether it hardens a lot or a little bit, those
It's
two
still
things
hardened.
together
But
are going to harden.
how much of it does it take to create a plaster-like substance?
Why was
Or-
it there in the first place? Why
Okay.
have we never heard of
We don't-
anything
we
like
don't-
this
I've got one more
before?
Nobody
paragraph.
knows that answer, haplotype.
No one
But
will
we-
ever know that answer,
but what
because
we-
you know why? This is why you'll never know that answer. Because how many times were pads taken out of gloves and looked at under a microscope,
I've
Magna-
never heard of anything like this.
magnified?
Exactly.
But again, it had to be. It had
So
to be.
that makes it unusual, which
But
makes
it
it
had-
suspect.
But it had to be such a minuscule amount if they had to look at it under a microscope and magnify
Well,
it.
the-
and
any
magnify
chemical
it 6
investigation
times.
uses a
The
microscope.
gauze pads were hardened when they were removed from Margarito's fists before he fought Mosley. They were hardened already.
That was their opinion.
The
Yes.
That
hardened
was the
gauze
interpretation
pads.
of the commissioner, the
This
glove
is-
inspector.
This is ESPN's
No,
But
the
we
glove
don't-
inspector, the glove
But we-
inspector
The hand
completely
wrap-
missed it.
But
hand
No,
again, but
the gloves
again,
let me
record
just
said-
read this really quick and then I won't say anything more. The hand wraps were removed from Margarito's fist shortly before the January 24th title fight against Mosley, when Mosley's trainer Nazim Richardson noticed and objected to their use. The hardened gauze pads, which had been inserted inside the hand wraps near Margarito's knuckles, were seized by the California State Athletic Commission, which sanctions and oversees boxing in the state.
correct.
Now,
Yes.
are you telling me that they're wrong?
They're
That's false information?
Here we go, Box Girl. Can I explain
Oh,
to
sure.
you why?
Yeah.
Can I
That's
explain
all I
to you
had
why
to say.
Can I explain to you why they were hardened?
Well,
First of all, because there was too much tape on them.
yeah.
That's why they were hardened, not because there was plaster of Paris.
That's
on
an
them.
assumption.
No, that's what the report says, haplotype.
That's what the report says. I just read it to you. The 3-2-3 rule. There was too much tape and gauze on the pads. Haplotype. That's a violation of
Hence,
rule
loaded
3-2-3.
gloves.
Okay, that's fine.
Because you keep trying to like just be right and you're not listening.
But
to
Haplo,
the
Dude,
but
I
Haplo,
am right.
issue.
Even
But
Pete
Haplo.
admitted I'm right.
but Haplo, here's the problem. This is the
Jesus
problem.
Christ! It's like
This is the problem, Haplo. This is all we can. We at least agree on this. First of all, number one, they were not blocks. Number two, there's a great amount of evidence to question. There's a great amount of evidence to question, not prove or disprove. There's a great enough amount of evidence to question whether or not there was plaster of Paris in those gloves. So there is a great amount of reasonable doubt that there was plaster of Paris.
I said
But the
there was
two
not
elements-
plaster of Paris in the gloves already at the beginning of the debate. I said
Okay,
it was
what-
not plaster of Paris.
Okay,
Those
Okay.
two elements with oxygen make plaster of Paris.
but how much of it do you need to do that?
Exactly.
I
None
don't-
of us
I
know
don't-
that.
I don't know. The California Commission
Would it
took
be
the
safe?
wraps and then
Would it be safe? Would it be safe to? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No,
Would
it's
it-
okay.
Would it be safe to assume that you would need more than trace elements to do that, to achieve that goal?
But
I don't
mean,
know.
Why
I
was
would-
it there in the first place?
I would have to strongly suggest that yes, I think you would need more than trace amounts.
he doesn't know that, but he knows that he cheated in the Cotto fight, right? Like, I mean, this is.
No,
this
I
is
didn't
double
say I know that, dude. I said I suspect that.
Listen,
I
he's well.
Stop
suspect you
trying to
too.
put words in my
well-
mouth.
He's
I
well.
totally suspect you
I
did.
guess let's cut to the chase. The problem with this whole story was HBO greatly exaggerated what happened here. And that's my point. That's G Funky's
Yeah.
point, and that's D Styles' point. That this was great. In other words, if I tell you, it's like saying this. Oh, my friend just walked down the street. He tripped and he skinned his knee. And then someone else goes, "Oh yeah, that dude tripped and he broke both his legs. Oh, this guy, he tripped, he broke his legs and he broke his back." So in other words, what
That's how. Yeah.
what HBO did was they greatly exaggerated this story, and the press ran with it. And I'm not saying that Margarito wasn't wrong, or Capetillo wasn't wrong. What I am saying is the extent of what he was accused of was greatly exaggerated. It's like this: if you grab a girl's ass, that's sexual assault, but it's
Listen,
not rape.
you son of a.
But it's not rape, is it? So if you grab a girl's ass and the girl says that you raped her, that's not true. But you did
Correct.
But you did sexually assault her. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is what had happened was HBO greatly exaggerated this story, and the press went and the press just jumped
Absolutely.
up.
But
And
he
the
didn't
whatever-
have
whatever-
illegal
can I-
chemicals on his
can I come back?
wraps, and that's
Can I come
been
back?
proven.
Whatever HBO did or didn't do has nothing to do with my argument here right now. It may have colored my opinion back in the day when they said all that stuff.
I think it quite possibly could have been.
It may have colored my opinion, but
It could have influenced.
It did the same to me. Yeah.
Because it
Same
did
to me.
because
since then, it doesn't matter. What we have is the evidence at hand. None of us know how much calcium and sulfur it takes to make a hand wrap harden. None of us know that. So let's not pretend that we do.
But would it be fair?
And I don't think Capetillo is a chemist either, and I don't think he knows that. But the fact is, he tried to put that shit in there.
We don't
and
know
they
that.
caught it.
You don't know
that.
Correct.
No, we don't
How
know.
do I not know that?
The
He
commission
admitted-
don't know
he
that.
admitted-
Guys.
He admitted.
But let me
You
ask you this. Let me get to
no,
the heart
He
of it. all.
admitted. Hold on. He
So-
admitted.
so let me
he
ask you
admitted
this.
that he messed up, and they were using something illegal in the gloves. So my point is, the guy was using loaded gloves. No matter what you say, no matter how you twist and turn it with blocks or pads. Or
Well,
how
we're
much
not twisting
a
it. That's what
pinch
was.
is,
That's
No,
what.
no, no,
or
That's
how
what
much a
Richardson
pinch
said.
is. How much is a
Whether-
pinch? How much isn't a pinch?
Whether or
How
not-
much does it take to make it harden?
Stop with
It
the
doesn't
pinch
matter.
thing, bro.
It
Whether or
doesn't
not-
matter.
whether
It
or
doesn't
not-
matter.
whether or
They
not you
used
want-
it- they loaded the gloves.
Whether or not you want to say they were loaded or not, what they did use was they did use too much gauze and too much tape.
If someone puts a illegal thing in a glove,
But
Joe,
does that-
is that
By that
loaded
logic-
or not?
By that logic, Trinidad is a cheater. That's it. Then you have to say that.
Well,
Good. Whatever you say, dude.
You know what but then you'll have to go back and you know what you'll have to say? Every single fighter that put too much gauze and too much tape on their fighters' gloves,
Cheater for life.
So
then they
does-
fought with loaded gloves then.
So you're
Because
saying? Are you saying that?
I think if
gauze
people
and
don't follow
tape
the rules, they
makes
break the
plaster
rules.
of Paris?
Okay, so
We're
so
not-
Trinidad
we're not
is a
disagreeing
cheater.
then.
Cheater for life.
what I'm saying is if you put an excessive amount of tape on top of gauze and you stack tape on top of tape, what you can create is a cast-like substance. Yes.
Okay.
You don't need plastic.
Okay, but that's not what they found, B.
But
They
they
found
found-
calcium and sulfur.
Okay, Haplo, but here's the
but
thing,
rule-
right? I don't
the
need
rule-
you to
but
agree.
the rule that was violated was 323. That was the rule they got him on. That was what they investigated him on.
Right.
Rule
And
323
that rule is
What-
about putting illegal things in your
No,
gloves. Is it
that's
not?
not what that rule
No,
is.
that's
You know
not.
what that-
That's
Okay,
not
what
true.
is-
That's why you gotta
refresh
listen,
my
Haplo. You
memory.
haven't listened.
Refresh- No, I heard him the first time.
Please, Haplo, please try to be open-minded. Please
I'm
try
trying to.
Please
Listen,
try-
I'm
No,
being
you're not.
open-minded.
No, you're not.
But you gotta listen to the.
Come on,
You gotta
dude.
listen to what
You're
the
not.
report says,
Please,
bro.
I'm begging you, Haplo. I'm begging you.
Like, as
I'm
a
begging
friend,
you.
you're
I'm
not being
telling
open-minded,
you.
bro.
I'm
You're not.
begging.
Bro,
I
I took in your points. I like all you guys. I took in your
But-
points about
Be open-
whether
We're
or
telling you
not
you're not being open-minded.
maybe
Rule-
or maybe not that would have hardened. Maybe or maybe not it wouldn't. But there was
I'm gonna
something
look it up.
illegal.
The action. Listen to the court ruling. This action is taken because of your recent participation in what appears to be a violation of Rule 323. Rule 323 limits the use of gauze and tape on an athlete's hand and
That's it.
requires that both contestants be represented
That's
while
not
the
opinion.
gauze and tape are applied. The rule also prescribes the manner in which the gauze and tape is applied to the athlete's hand. Here it appears that a foreign substance was used in the hand wraps in Rule 323. Additionally, the commission allows that 390 to revoke and suspend otherwise disciplined who conducts himself in a manner which is determined by the commission to discredit boxing. So 323, a violation of Rule 323,
Okay.
means
I
that,
hear you. I hear you.
excessive gauze
And-
and tape were
Is
used.
that-
Now,
No. But
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm not done. Another problem is the gauze was actually too big. The gauze can only be a specific
That's
amount of
loaded
it.
gloves, bro.
It's
That's
not loaded
loaded
gloves.
gloves.
Bro, like, here we go again, bro.
If
You don't.
someone says loaded gloves, you know what that means? They go back to the Louis Resto days when they actually put it.
No,
they were
that's not
actually
the
putting-
only loaded gloves
there was,
thing.
there was not a foreign substance. There was
This
not
is
a foreign.
No, dude,
Wait a minute,
you
wait a
read
minute,
it just a
wait a
minute
minute.
He
ago.
doesn't wanna listen.
It
He's
not.
appears.
There-
You said
I just
it appears.
read the rule to you.
You just- I know.
I read the
and
rule to you.
I'm
You
responding.
have,
I'm
you have to
responding.
accept
Can I
the
respond?
rule.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
You said in the rule that it appears that there are foreign substances put in that glove. What do you think they were talking about there? The calcium and the sulfur.
There's no way they could have found that out without looking at it under a microscope first, because that's
There's
when
no
they
way to
found
find anything. That's CSI. It's easy. Like you look around with the microscope. That's what they always do
The
to
original-
find stuff.
First of all, Haplo, whoa. Let me say something.
I just read.
Hold on, B, hold on. They found substances that happen to be in plaster of Paris, but those two substances happen to be in other substances like shit you eat and drink. You know what I mean? That's all that means. Like, I don't understand what you don't get by
But
that.
that wouldn't be in a brand new pair of boxing gloves, D-Style. That's what you don't
They're
get.
not in the
Nobody
gloves.
is saying that. You
No,
keep trying. Like, you're not listening, bro. You're being closed-minded. I know you're saying that you're being open-minded. You're not.
I'm trying to be
Serious.
open-minded.
No, then try harder.
I'm willing to concede. Listen,
Try a little harder.
I'm willing to
So
concede
Haplotype.
that
Haplotype.
if you guys had told me, listen, the reports came out and there was
Jesus
no
Christ.
calcium, there was no sulfur, it still wouldn't matter. They put something
Okay.
illegal and tried
So
to load the glove.
Okay. Let me ask you this:
Let's
Is
end it right
Pacquiao
here.
a cheater? Because the way he got his hands wrapped in Texas is only allowed in Texas, right?
Let's end
Anywhere else, they would have found him guilty.
Let's
just like
end it right
Margarito.
here. Let's
I
end it right
mean,
here.
D-Style, you don't like when people use whataboutisms, okay? And you're doing it right now.
Haplotype.
What about Tito Trinidad?
But you
What
don't like
about
that
this
example.
guy?
That's why you're voting.
Haplotype.
No, it's okay. I agree.
Can I-
He got
can I ask
caught
you-
trying to do
Haplotype.
something illegal. Yes, he did try to
Haplotype.
load his gloves. Yes.
Haplotype. Let's end this. Let's end this right now. And let's nip this in the butt. Was he in violation of the rule of using too much tape and gauze, or was he in violation of putting an illegal substance in his glove?
The illegal substance that he had was calcium and sulfur on
Okay,
a pad that
What
had
did,
already
but
been
what did
used.
this court
You're
ruling
not-
find?
you're
But what did
not
this
allowed
court
to-
ruling find?
You're
But
not
what
allowed
did this
to
court
use a
ruling
pad
find?
that's already
They
been
found
used.
sulfur and calcium.
That's
They
not
found
what this-
sulfur
not
and
what this-
calcium. Thank
That's
you.
not what. That's not what the suspension was for. This action is taken because of your recent participation in what appears to be a violation
Skip to
of
the part
rule
about foreign substances.
323. Rule 323 limits the use of
Skip
gauze
to the
and
part
tape.
about foreign substances.
We've
You
already
said
read that
something about
Haplotype.
foreign
I already read it to
substances.
you.
We've already read
Okay,
that.
You've already
so
read it. Like you
rule-
keep like.
Rule
Here's the thing,
323
Haplo.
doesn't prove
Hold on,
anything.
Haplo. Hold on.
But
I'm
he
not-
was
let me
was
say
suspended. He was suspended because he violated Rule 323. The
Right.
whole
They have
sulfur
to use
thing.
that.
But it said in there foreign substances in the gloves, bro.
Hold on.
Read
First of all, hold on, Pete. Hold on.
It appears that a foreign substance was used in the hand
There
wraps.
you go.
It appears.
It appears. You know what that means?
And then
What
when
does
the
that mean? There's no
It
scientists
doubt.
appears.
looked at it, they found sulfur and calcium with
There you go.
oxygen makes
I don't know
plaster
why
of
this is so
Paris.
hard to understand, guys.
Trace amounts.
Trace
Trace
Why is that hard
amounts.
to understand?
You could have a glass of
Shouldn't-
water, right? You could drink water and eat rice, and technically they could say, "Oh my God, that plaster of Paris stomach."
Here's the problem with
But does the
here's-
tape and the gauze make that together?
Here's the problem.
No.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with
So
the
if I break
argument.
my hand and I need plaster of Paris, you
Here's-
could put a pinch of it and it'll harden. And I
No, come on now. You're
Here's-
grasping at
Here's-
straws,
here's-
style.
Here's
That's
the
what we're
problem.
saying.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. B.
Here's the problem with the argument the haplotype is making. So you have a gauze and tape that's about 3 to 4 inches long, and you mean to tell me that you're going to put trace amounts of sulfur and calcium on there, and you're expecting that to be that trace amount to be enough to harden that whole pad? It's not. It's
If I
not.
didn't know,
It's not logical.
First of all, trace
not
amounts
logical.
is not a specific measurement.
What's not
But-
logical is that
What's
it's
not
there in the
logical?
first place.
Why was
But
it there?
but how? But if it was
It's only logical because you want it to be logical. 'Cause you don't want to admit that
Why
Cody
would
lost
they
that
have-
fight. That's all it is, bro. At the end of the
It
day,
was-
Scientists
I know
found it
Cody
in the
lost the
laws,
fight.
guys.
Chill
Wait a
out,
minute.
that's
D-Style.
it. That's it.
Wait a minute. But if there was such an abundance of it in there that it could be seen with the naked eye, then why would they have
You
to look
can't-
at it under a microscope?
Who
You
said
can't
that you
see
need to see it
chemicals
under
under
the
the
naked
naked
eye? What
You
does
cannot
naked
see
eye have to
Why
do
would
with it?
you? Then why would you have to take a microscope and
Okay,
magnify
because
it?
let's end it with
anytime
it.
you're
Because
doing a
that's how
you
forensic
see
investigation,
chemicals.
Let's end it with this,
anytime,
right?
anytime you're
Let's
doing
end
a
it with-
forensic investigation, you use a microscope. Using a
You have
microscope
to
doesn't
use a
prove
microscope
anything.
to
Okay,
see
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
chemicals.
whoa.
Let me say this. Let me say something.
There's not-
If the man had a cast, they wouldn't need a microscope. That's the point.
Bro,
That's the point you're
it would
missing,
be
bro.
so
caught it
hard, it
before
would
the
be
So
fight.
different.
No, they
They
didn't.
caught it before
No, they
the fight.
didn't. No,
Okay,
they
Yes,
didn't.
let me just say
They
this.
caught it. They
They
caught
caught it before the
They caught
fight.
it after the fight. That's when they put it under the microscope. That's when
No,
the
bro, they caught it
No,
before the
They
fight.
caught it
No.
and made him rewrap his
rats
hands.
went to the
They
lab.
made him rewrap 3 times. You're
The
telling me he tried to load it 3 times? Is that what you're telling me?
No, they made him rewrap
minute.
it.
The
Wait a
two
minute.
guys,
Wraps
the
is
two
what
guys
they
from the
found
boxing
chemicals
commission
on.
admitted that they missed when they slipped it in there The two guys from the boxing commission admitted that, both of them, they missed it, and Nassim Richardson caught it.
But
No,
the
it was
initial,
before the fight.
Because
Before the
it fell
fight.
out.
wait a minute, hold up.
It was enough to fall out.
The initial wraps went to the lab, and they were inspected after the fight.
Right. Of
Yes.
course.
Inspected
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
but
Yes.
They
not
can't
caught
do it
after.
during.
No,
Yeah.
Haplo, let me ask
No,
you
no,
this.
you
If
cannot
they really
say that.
found,
Look,
hold on.
nobody-
Let me ask
What are
you.
they supposed to inspect it during the fight?
They sent the wraps to the lab after the fight.
Of
Right,
course.
Yes, they confiscated
When else
them
are
and
they
sent
gonna
them after
send
the
it?
fight.
That's when they found the trace amounts.
When
Right.
else were they going to inspect it?
Look, no,
During the fight?
hey, I gotta
You
say
said-
something. Hold up.
You said they caught it before the fight.
Appetite, you have to correct your last statement.
What I'm
Appetite,
saying is that
you
they
have to
caught the
correct-
illegal pads
I gotta
before
tell you.
the fight.
Look,
Okay, the pads they caught before the fight. The sulfur and the calcium they caught after the fight.
My phone's
There
gonna
you
die.
go. I agree
Here's
with
what I'll
that.
say to this,
one
Haplo.
thing-
If they found him,
it wasn't enough to harden
they-
the pads.
wait. If they found
I think
him
if I-
with loading his wraps, like you said, why would they even let the fight go on?
They
You
did
guys,
catch him loading his
Nassim-
wraps.
Why would they let the
saw
fight go
something
on
fall
then?
out of
If
it.
he's trying to load his
rewrapped
gloves,
him. They rewrapped him.
Appetite. The fact of the matter is,
If a brick
I
fall
read
out,
it
that
to
fight's
you
canceled.
guys.
at the
if a
time
block
that this,
falls out, he's arrested on the spot.
listen,
They get him out of there. He doesn't fight.
Listen,
Do that.
the fact of
They
the
can't
matter
arrest
is,
him without knowing what it is.
okay, but the fact of the matter is, at the time when this whole thing happened, nobody was sure that the wraps were illegal. That's why the wraps had to go. The only thing they did know was the wraps. There was too much gauze and too much tape.
No,
So
they
wasn't
knew
like-
those used pads that had been used before. That's illegal on the face of it.
That's fine. But
Yeah.
they did not know with 100% certainty, and they still do not know with 100% certainty, and they still have not proven with 100% certainty that those wraps had plaster of Paris on them.
And they still haven't proven the opposite either.
Okay, so
As
are we
Margarito's
guilty
trainers were
until
wrapping
proven
their
guilty,
hands,
or
Richardson
guilty
noticed
until
and
proven
appeared
innocent?
to
but he was reinstated, so apparently they were.
This
Hey,
suspension
Haplo, are we
is only
guilty
for a
until
year.
proven?
What do you mean
Are we innocent
reinstated?
until proven guilty,
Because,
or
because-
otherwise?
because the investigation took a year. It also
No, it didn't take a year,
Yes,
dude.
it did.
Yes,
Yes,
it
No,
it did.
They did,
they
and we know
suspended
people
him for
that
a
were
year.
there at the hearing.
They
Appetite
suspended
says-
him for a year.
Appetite.
You're wrong
You
on
have
this,
to-
Haplotype. You're wrong on that, bro. We
It
know
says it
people
right
that were
here.
there. It took a year.
It says it right here. It says it right here in the court findings. It says he was temporarily suspended pending an investigation. That's why he was suspended pending an investigation. You can't change the story, Haplotype. You can have your
Why
opinion.
was the other guy suspended for like multiple years then?
He wasn't though. Margarito was not.
Margarito wasn't because Capetillo copped for him, and he said
Oh,
it wasn't
that's
him, it was
fine.
me.
Margarito was suspended pending an investigation. It says it right here in the hearing.
Capetillo
plaster
looked
of
out
Paris
for him.
hardens
And
when
Bob
it comes
Arum
into
is a good
contact
lawyer.
with moisture.
But you have to concede the point that I'm reading factually to you. You have to concede the factual.
Bob Arum is
You have-
a very good lawyer.
Haplo,
You have to
Haplo, you
concede-
have to acknowledge that
He
he's
went to
reading
Harvard
verbatim.
Law School.
But
Bro,
you have
he's
to-
reading
He's
verbatim.
not a
the
criminal
report.
lawyer, bro.
But I'm
He's not a
reading,
criminal lawyer.
but I'm reading the court document, and it says he was temporarily suspended pending an investigation. That is a fact you can't refute. You can't refute that.
Irrefutable, bro.
You have to accept it.
Irrefutable.
You have to accept it.
And everybody in
then-
the chat, everybody in the
I'll
chat has
accept
to
that.
also. Yeah.
I'll
and you
accept
also
that.
have to- and you
I'll
also
accept that
you
if you
also-
accept the fact that they loaded the gloves.
the pads were-
So the question is, no, can I get a question out? Let me get a question out really quick.
I already conceded the point the pads were illegal. Haplotype.
Yes.
Haplo,
Pads
you-
were
like,
illegal.
Let me go back to the
That's-
photo fight real
That's
quick.
an irrefutable fact.
Hold on, B.
Are you
B,
guys
hold on,
There we
hold
go.
on, please hold up. Look, listen to me. Haplo, you said, this is what you said, and then we have other boxing heads in the chat and everything. We all saw the same fight. You said that Margarito was landing non-consequential punches, little short punches that didn't really look like they could hurt
Said short
anybody, right? That's what
punches.
you said.
I said
And that's
short
why you
punches.
believe that he had loaded gloves, right? And by loaded,
Short
I
punches.
mean like plaster of Paris, something hard in there that help him, not a technicality. Being wrong on the technicality doesn't mean anything. In that case, then we have to say that every Trinidad knockout was because of the way he did his raps, because they're obviously illegal like that in New York for a reason, right? So we can't just go by that. Okay, Beeb, do you believe that?
I think there's a
Hold on,
difference between twisting
hold on,
tape.
hold on. Can you hold
Okay.
up a little
All
bit?
right, go
No,
ahead,
type-
finish.
Yeah, there is a
Apple type-
difference.
Apple type.
Okay.
I'm reading the court document to you, and you're still disagreeing with me. I don't know what.
Beeb,
I don't know why you do it.
I just said I agree with what you said.
I was
as
in the
long as
middle
you
of asking a
know
question
they
and
loaded
half
the
the time
gloves.
interrupted. But look, let me
sorry,
ask Beeb a
Bisa.
question. I have a question for Beeb. Beeb,
Sure.
how would you describe the Margarito Cotto fight? Would you describe it as out of like Margarito was really landing nothing, and it wasn't until later in the fight that the punches started hurting Cotto, or did you find it odd, or did you have a
It was
weird
about
feeling?
6 rounds in. About 6
Did you have a
rounds
feel?
in. it started.
Because I was on YouTube then, Haplo, and none of the uploaders, none said they had a weird feeling after that fight. What a weird thing that
I
after
did.
the fight did that.
Look at my
No, but
video.
you don't
It's
have
still
receipts
up.
for that. You could just say that, but you don't have receipts, so it's whatever to me. Okay, but
Oh,
Pete,
he jumped off.
what do you
But-
think, Pete? Did you have a weird feeling after that fight?
I didn't.
I
was
didn't really. I wasn't. I was
I was pulling for
I was-
Margarito. So I was happy.
I was in shock. I was in utter shock that Cotto lost that fight. I was actually.
No, but what
hurt.
I'm saying, did you find something fishy? Was it like, oh
No,
man, he must have done
no.
something? Like, did you feel
No,
that
listen,
way? Because
here's
nobody felt that way.
Here's the fact. Nobody can fucking Monday morning quarterback this, because if you didn't suspect it right after the fight, 6 months after the fight, a year after the fight, if you have to go back and see this whole HBO Mosley bullshit, and then you want to suspect afterwards, then you weren't really fucking skeptical. Okay? Then you weren't skeptical.
Facts.
Okay?
Everybody, they don't have the receipts to prove that they felt that way.
Not one person questioned that fight right after, 6 months after, or a year after.
And I love this conversation, but I got to wrap it up. But I want to say this before we go to everybody in the chat. Look, I have receipts for this. I said in my post
What's
fight
coming?
after the rematch, I said I thought Margarito cheated. That was my thought, and that's because I let HBO and all these other guys tell me that. I didn't do any research. I just took their word for it. Upon further review, I like to use that. Upon further review, I went and looked at the research and heard what people had to say that were fucking there, and looked at the documents from the court. It's not what I thought it was, man. I can admit that I was wrong. I can admit, hey, I was wrong about Margarito. You know,
I'm not gonna lie. There was one person and one person only that convinced me that I'm not 100% sure what HBO said happened, and that's Gabriel Montoya. Because Gabriel Montoya was there. He was there. He was there, and he was investigating it, and he knew what was going on.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
And
my phone died.
No, it's all good. Happen. We're gonna wrap it up anyway, man, because I got to roll. But I want to tell you, brother. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to say, look, there's no hatred, no malice, none of that.
Of course
it's just,
not.
you know how we get, man. It's boxing, baby. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'd rather have a calm conversation about it.
Yeah. Me too.
Haplo, can I ask you one question? This is the last question I'm going to ask you, and I apologize as this comes off as being like accusatory or if I'm interrogating you, because that's not what I'm trying to do here.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're on a jury, right? And Margarito is being charged with this as a crime per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we both have reasonable doubt. Could we convict Margarito of this crime?
I don't have reasonable doubt. They loaded the gloves.
You don't have reasonable doubt at all.
They loaded the gloves. We all know they had illegal things in the gloves. Whether there were
so you would send them to jail.
When there were chemicals on, no, I don't know if I would send him to jail. It depends on what the sentence is. The jury gets to determine that. But if there's something illegal in the gloves, he loaded his gloves. Period. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't have any.
He was loading his gloves. I mean, look, you want to do whataboutisms? We could take the Casey Anthony case. They found one hair in the trunk and the smell of dead body.
That's not the same thing, Haplo.
But there were trace amounts. There were trace
Haplo,
amounts.
stop. That's not the same thing.
One hair.
That's
So
not the
you-
same thing.
so
You
let
know
me
what
ask you
Casey
this.
Anthony didn't do it?
So
I would have
Haplo.
convicted her ass in a second.
Bro,
So
you say you like to have calm conversations, like, dude, like saying shit like that. You wonder why you get yelled at, why people tell you to stop interrupting and stop saying
Haplo,
things like that.
Haplo.
He
Come
asked
on,
me a
bro.
question, dude.
Haplo, so
Yeah.
let me just ask you this. Let me rephrase this question. So you're 100% certain that Margarito knowingly loaded his gloves. There's no doubt in your mind that he knowingly.
I'm not 100% certain that knowingly, but
So
I'm
then you can't-
100% certain that
So you
the
can't.
trainer
So you can't
knowingly
convict him
did
then.
it.
So you have reasonable doubt. Yes.
No.
No, you have reasonable
I don't
doubt.
have reasonable doubt.
You
that
do
the
have
gloves were
reasonable
loaded.
doubt that he
No.
did it knowingly, though. But you do have reasonable doubt that he did it knowingly. Yes.
Knowingly or unknowingly is not whether
But
or
you
not
do.
he's
But
convicted.
you do. But you did. Yes, that is true. Because the problem here is
It's a different crime.
the crime is the reason. You know why? You know why he got off. You know why they did reinstate him. You know why? You know the reason why they reinstated him.
Because they suspended him for a year and then it
No.
expired.
That's not
No,
true.
that's not true.
Loading gloves, you go to
This is-
jail, bro. Come on.
This is the reason why they reinstated him, because they determined that he did not knowingly load his gloves. He
Because
did,
his trainer copped to it for him.
but they still do not know that he knowingly knew it.
That's
Bro,
just that's
if
just the
you
fact,
kill
bro.
somebody, Beeb, and I go, I did it, it wasn't Beeb, and they let you off on
Let me give you a
probation.
better one, okay?
Do you know with 100% certainty that he did not know that his gloves were loaded? Yes or no?
There's no way for me to know what's in another
So then
person's mind.
you can't convict him then. Then you don't know for sure.
That's
Then
not
you
a
know what?
reasonable
Can
doubt.
we-
I know whenever I have my
You
hands
has to
wrapped.
go on. I just want to say one more thing.
Well, can I say
you have
something?
reasonable doubt. You
Can I-
have
no, I
reasonable
don't
doubt.
have reasonable doubt.
You just
I
admitted you
don't
have
have
reasonable doubt.
that the
You
gloves
do
were
have
loaded.
reasonable doubt that
I
he
don't
knowingly
have
did it.
reasonable
You
doubt
just
that the gloves were
admitted
loaded.
that you have reasonable doubt that he
No, I
knowingly
admitted
did
I
it.
have reasonable
That he
doubt that it was
knowingly
knowingly.
That he knowingly did it. We're not
Yes.
saying
There I have reasonable doubt, but
you do have
that's
reasonable
very
doubt that he
shaky.
knowingly
That's very
did it.
shaky because you've had your hands wrapped, I've had my hands wrapped, and I know what's going into those wraps, bro. I'm watching.
Okay, but Haplo, you just said that it would take 30 minutes for it to harden. That's what you said at the start. You know, that's what you said. You've changed your stance a lot, actually.
I
think we
said
made a lot of
that
ground.
if those
You-
chemicals were to react together, it would take about
Hey,
30
let me
minutes.
just say something really quick because G Funky has to go.
Yeah, I got to
That's
roll.
why-
I think we made a lot of ground today.
That's why
you've changed
that's why
your
he was
stance a little bit.
reinstated. That's why he was reinstated, because nobody
He
knows.
was reinstated because Bob.
Hey,
Arum-
guy, I really need to say something, and
That's
G
not-
Funky has
that's
to
not
go,
true.
guys.
He was reinstated because Bob Arum wanted to make
Bob
money.
Arum was not at the hearing. He was not at the hearing.
It doesn't even matter,
Come
bro.
on,
He was
bro. He's like,
reinstated
Bob
to make
Arum,
money.
Bob
reason-
Arum is not a criminal lawyer. Stop. Hey,
The
look.
fact.
Are you
the
telling
fact
me
that-
that Bob Arum isn't shady? Come on, bro.
That's
What does that even mean?
That's
That's-
nothing to do with this, man.
That's a
Oh my
straw man.
fucking God.
It
That's
does have something to do with
that's
it
a straw-
because he
that's
put
a
his
straw
arm
man
around
argument.
Margarito and he was like,
It's a
That's a
logical
straw man.
fallacy.
It's
It's
not
a
okay,
logical
bro.
fallacy, bro. That's
Really?
a
here's
logical
what we have
fallacy.
to do.
Haplotype.
Here's what we have to do.
Haplotype.
Capitio.
Haplotype.
You
Haplotype.
take
Listen
the
here.
credit.
Wow.
Haplotype. Haplotype.
Unbelievable.
Haplotype. No one on this earth knows with 100% certainty that Margarito knowingly
Reasonable
loaded.
doubt is not about 100% certainty, Beeb.
So then you
Ask any
can't.
lawyer.
So you cannot
Reasonable.
convict him.
A
So you
reasonable
cannot
doubt.
convict him.
He got
That's
reinstated,
why.
bro.
That's why he was reinstated, because they could not come to a
Because
conclusion.
Capitio said he did
Okay,
it.
whoa. Okay, you guys are saying the same thing. I need to say something, and G Funky has to
Capitio,
go. Show, guys.
Capitio did do it.
For the love of
Capitio did do it. He did wrap his hands.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, guys, I need to say something.
Margarito,
know
Margarito
whether or
didn't
not
wrap his own.
Margarito did know
Margarito
or
did not
didn't know.
wrap- Margarito did not wrap his own hands.
But we
Right.
don't know if he knew
Whoa,
or not.
whoa. Hey, guy,
Hey,
we're
guys.
going
So
in
you
circles.
admit you
We're
have
going in
doubt.
circles, guys.
So you admit that
About
that he,
knowingly. About knowingly.
Okay,
We're
Okay,
going in circles,
That's
guys.
fine. That's fine.
that's it.
That's
Hold on,
fine.
hold on.
You say something, and I
I'm
gotta
gonna say
close it
what
out.
I'm gonna say, and then no one's gonna interrupt me, and then G Funky needs to go. We made a lot of ground today. Haplotype jumped in talking about hardening the pads after 30 minutes and all that change. He tried to get into semantic. That's cool, but we made some ground because he did say the following. He said, "None of us know if the amount that was on there would harden the pads." That's what he said. Okay, so in order for you to know that would
But I also said-
dude, stop. Hey, mute him, bro. I
You're
can't.
putting
I'm gonna
words in my
finish what I'm
mouth.
gonna say.
Haplo, wait,
What I
Haplo,
said.
wait. Haplo,
Do I
wait.
get a do I get a
Oh,
closing
for the
statement?
love of fucking God, bro. Go ahead and talk, dude. It's my fucking show, but you want to interrupt me.
Go
You're
ahead,
being
man.
fucking rude,
I gotta
dude.
roll though,
I'm
man.
being
Go ahead.
You
honest with
asked me to come
No,
on.
I'm done. Just let him
Style.
talk. It is what it is. Just let him talk.
Go ahead, Haplo, because I gotta
Do
roll.
I
I'm
get to
out.
make
Go
a
ahead.
closing statement?
Yes, go ahead. But I gotta roll. You gotta
All
make it
right.
quick.
Well,
man.
I don't know
gotta
why
roll.
T-Style is getting so mad.
Because you interrupted me, bro. That's fucking
Because
rude
you're
as fuck.
talking about what I said and you're not accurately.
Well, can you just let me
depicting it.
finish what I said?
Go ahead.
No, I'm done, dude. You fucking ruined it. So it's whatever. Just say what you're gonna say.
ruined
T-Funk's
you
gotta go.
quoting
So hurry
me.
up and talk.
Well, you
Go
just
ahead.
admitted that you believe that you're not 100% sure that Margarito knowingly cheated. You just admitted it.
Okay, but I'm also saying that that's not a relevant fact.
That's a 100% relevant.
Whether
That's a 100% relevant fact because that's what got him his license back. That's
If I
manslaughter.
accidentally kill somebody, that's manslaughter.
That's
If I
manslaughter.
knowingly kill somebody, that's murder, right?
For the
Either
record.
way, it's a crime.
For the record. He's never said he loaded. He just said if there's anything there, he took the blame because he's a trainer. That's
Right. He said
that's
he
from
messed up.
that's from Dave leaving in the ring who sent people
stop,
down there.
dude. Like we're going by people that know what he said. Like, why are you arguing?
I know
bro?
what he said.
No, those are quotes. Those are actual quotes. Those are actual quotes. Appetite.
He said he
Did you do a month's investigation on this? Did you cover this nonstop? Why are you questioning people that were there?
You asked me to come on and talk about it.
No, but Haplo, what we're telling you is what people were there said. That talked to the people there, man.
But I know what Cappuccino said because I've read the quotes.
I can get
he
you the
said
quote.
It was my fault. I messed up.
Yes, but did he say I loaded the gloves?
Not Margarito.
Did he say I loaded?
Him responsible.
He did not say
You said
no.
that something that would harden after 30 minutes. Did you not say that?
Nobody.
I'm not arguing the hardening thing.
Haplotype. Nobody ever admitted to loading those gloves. Nobody.
Not even Capatio.
There was an illegal pad in the gloves. Therefore, they were loaded.
You're putting words in people's mouth.
Okay,
They were
I'm
loaded.
telling you what he said.
But was he reinstated because they could not determine whether or not he knowingly knew the wraps were loaded?
I guess if that's what you're telling me.
No. That's
yes
yes.
or no.
If that's
yes or no.
Yes.
Bro, we want yes or no. Yes or no.
Bro,
Apple,
I just said yes. If that's what you're telling me, and I believe.
No, that's what happened.
That's what
It's
happened.
not what we're telling you. That's
but,
what happened.
But you know the gloves were loaded anyway. It doesn't matter.
They weren't.
They were. Why did
Haplo.
they take those pads out? If the gloves were not loaded, why did they take the pads out?
Oh my goodness, we went over this already, bro. But
Why
we
did
can
they
talk about it
have
again.
the calm conversation that's HTTP?
If it wasn't illegal, why did they take them out?
Oh, for love of God, bro! Have
We've
you
already
listened to
covered that,
anything?
bro. We've already covered that.
Dude, like you don't understand how disrespectful you sound when you literally just like don't listen to any of the points we're sincerely trying to give you. Like, you know, and you wonder why I'm getting pissed off.
I've conceded.
No. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
I've conceded many points already, dude. I don't know why you're so pissed off.
They were illegal because they
were used before and they were put in there and they should not have been there. There was something in the glove that should not have been there.
We admitted that, but what we're saying is that they're not.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not plaster of Paris. It wasn't. His hands weren't dipped in plaster. He didn't have a cast.
I didn't say that though, dude.
There wasn't bricks in there. There wasn't plaster of Paris in there. There was two pads in there that were used before that looked fishy, and that did not look normal to the to Richardson. And then when they were shown to the commission,
and they were removed.
The commission thought that they looked. The commission thought they looked fishy as well, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but the reason why he wasn't suspended after the investigation was completed because
he was suspended though, Beeb.
No, he wasn't.
He was suspended pending an investigation.
During the investigation,
you have to accept it. You can't.
But he was suspended
pending an investigation. Pending an investigation.
So what? He was
It
suspended.
was a temporary suspension.
Yeah, they're playing
pending the
semantics again,
investigation.
bro. Come on.
He was suspended.
But-
He was suspended temporarily because of the investigation. Once
guy
the
was
investigation, but once the investigation was concluded, he was reinstated because they came to the conclusion that he did not knowingly, intentionally load his gloves. All of this is
There's no way of proving if someone knowingly knew that someone wrapping their hand. There's no way to prove or disprove.
That's what the
if he
court
knew or not.
reports say, though, bro.
and the commission reinstated him because they believed that he did not know.
Because there's no way to prove that.
That
No,
was
there's no, not
then
because
you
they
have
believe.
then you have to take it up with the court.
That doesn't mean they believed anything. That they couldn't prove it.
So if you have reasonable doubt in a court case and you don't know if you're not 100% sure and you have reasonable doubt, then you can't convict a criminal of a crime.
There is no reasonable doubt that there was something.
There is reasonable. You just said there's reasonable doubt because
about him knowing or not knowing. But
Okay,
not
guys,
that there was something illegal.
Guys,
There is reasonable doubt.
Seriously,
There is reasonable doubt. There is reasonable doubt because you don't know with 100% certainty.
There's no reasonable doubt about
guys.
him.
There is reasonable doubt because you don't know with 100% certainty.
Bro, about
Guys,
him
look,
doing
I'm
it.
sorry, man, but I gotta wrap it up.
Do you know for sure that he knowingly loaded his gloves? Yes or no?
No.
Then
Okay,
this reason,
there it is.
then
No reasonable
that's
There it
it.
is.
But
Case
then
closed.
let me
Case
make
closed.
my point.
Case closed.
There's no
Case
reasonable doubt that there was something illegal in those gloves. No
Okay,
reasonable doubt.
closed. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, and go, man. Let me tell you guys. Thank you, Joe Habib, for coming on. I appreciate you. Boxing Girls back. I really gotta go. I'm way past my time. But Haplo, thank you for coming on too, man. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
You know we got nothing but love for you. We could do this again, man. Maybe the weekend or something. You know.
You understand?
I think we put this one to bed.
Haplo, do you understand
Thank you
the
too,
point?
Boxing Girl. Thank you for coming on.
Haplo, do you understand the point that was made here today?
Yeah, I understand several of the points, and I thought I was being very, reasonable about whether or not there was anything. Let's say there wasn't any calcium.
Was I rude to you today?
No.
Was I rude to you today?
Not at all. Not at all. No. Was I rude to you?
No.
Zero.
No.
Zero.
No.
Zero
Okay.
rude to me.
No.
Zero rude to me.
So my point is whether, I accept.
I was
the
gonna
fact
come
that
and fight
you
all of you.
guys.
Was I rude to you?
You guys are saying that there
No,
wasn't
not at all.
enough to harden the wraps. I don't know. I don't know if there was or not. I don't
There
know
was.
if he knew or not. But the fact is, there's one fact that is irrefutable, and that is those gloves were loaded.
Those pads shouldn't have been in those gloves.
Those wraps were
Okay.
loaded.
Those pads should not have been in those gloves.
Okay.
I will
Exactly.
I will
got you.
concede-
But I gotta roll seriously, guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys for coming on. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to everybody here in the chat. I really do appreciate it. But I got to roll, man. This was great. ATP Uncensored. Make sure you guys subscribe to Ringside Reporter. Haplotype. Do you have a channel? Boxing Girl, do you have a channel here? Or?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, well, we'll have you on once you get it established, and then we'll get you out there. We'll get some people to subscribe to you.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and stuff. So
Okay,
All right.
cool. Well,
Peace
we'll
out,
see you
Noah.
guys on the next one, guys.
thanks for
Thank you so
having me,
much.
guys.
No problem.
Much love to everybody.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. We're out.
Peace, love.